Doing you. That's what I say. Hey!
There you go.
Vaping announced.
That's all I needed.
Um,
Am I clear?
Go.
Am I clear enough?
Who's next?
Go.
You are clear, but you're not. It's not as good. It's not so close.
You really like your sweet things, innit, Dan?
What are you on about?
You love them sweet
brandy.
things.
I'm playing this.
Your eyes on them sweet things. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're sweet things.
This is the best Jamaican Eve.
Yeah, because it's got repeating the same word. That's why. Sweet.
Stay in the safe place.
Say the same, please. See, it's gone.
All
Into
right.
new words.
Man,
Are we ready to
all right,
start?
so you guys ready for me? Am I ready for you? Are we here?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what this is going to bring. I'm in a weird mood today.
All right,
Ooh.
don't worry. We'll see how it goes. Like everything we record doesn't have to go out.
It was gonna go out. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay, Daddy.
Welcome to today's episode of Friends. I am Daniel. I'm on for the Bunton, so you can call me Bunton. I'm here with my friend Justin, who is also known as Justin and Nicholas. And today's episode is brought to you by I don't know who's bringing this episode. Whose episode is this today? This is Nicholas's.
I really thought we had a sponsorship there for a second.
Yeah, I know, man.
Excited. I was like,
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
but no, it's cool.
Yo, so subject today, our top 5 is brought to you by Slick Boom. I said it.
Okay. Yes.
What you
Thank you.
got for us?
I acknowledge that. So the topic is top 5 comedians / comedians. I prefer the term comedians because funny is funny. So comedians encompasses it all, but like, should we start off with that? Like, if I think of, like, let's say Jeannie Asheray or someone else, I would say she's a comedian.
So do I, but I feel like
wouldn't-
it's not like, I feel like there's an argument here that I'm not really allowed to have. Like, I'm not. It's like, if women want to be called comedians, if that's the reason why
is
they're
that what
called
you're talking
comedians, yeah,
Oh.
and actresses and actors and actresses, if that's what they want to be called, then no, okay, cool, separate yourselves. If it was given to them, like they were called comedians and actresses as opposed to just all actors and comedians, then I feel like, yeah, they should have just been comedians, because
I think it's silly. I don't even understand how
Oh, whoa.
that. Wait, can I finish? Am I allowed? Okay. I think it's silly because I don't even understand why the word comedian is associated with being the male form anyway, like the IAN. Is there any other words that we say that are just like IAN? Oh, that's a male. Why is there a separation anyway?
I have an
I just
argument for that.
I always assumed that. I assume that women. Like, I can imagine there was like you use this as a way to keep us out, give us our own thing, and celebrate us for it.
But okay, so what are female writers called?
Actresses.
Writeress.
Righteousness.
But do you know what I mean? Like, why
Yeah,
is
I
there
know.
such a why like things like comedian?
Like I said,
actor?
if it's what they wanted, then hey,
Everyone should just be one, innit? We're all actors.
yeah, I
Because
know.
once you say actress, it's like, I suppose it sounds like it's less than actor.
That's why I'm asking. Like, if there was a fight that they're fighting for, why they chose it, like that makes this the all lives matter type of conversation, isn't it?
Okay, so back to the topic.
If I'm in my actor bubble,
I thought we were moving on. That was my face to like.
alright,
We
cool.
could talk about this later.
No. He's passionate about it. Go on, speak.
Yeah, I know. It's going to fight for the actresses. Go on.
So I don't understand it. Yeah, I'm on your side. I believe we should all be actors. I'm not in it. So male and females should both be actors, and males and females should both be comedians. But if there's a fight that they're feeling like, if they chose this for themselves, like women chose it for themselves, they decided they needed to be comedians, and I don't even know how to say it properly, and actresses. And there's a whole political thing about it that they that they're fighting for, why they needed to have their separation so they can have some recognition. Me and my ignorant self need to stay out of the conversation. Just let it be.
Fair enough. I get that.
I'm just googling to find out because I don't know.
Well,
Okay.
hey, it's Nicholas gets first pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick off while you Google.
Ah, sorry.
Man, I feel like there's gonna be so many parallels in this.
Oh,
Or at least,
So basically-
at least to start off with, innit?
So there's a whole thing in it about basically in William Shakespeare's time, before women were allowed on stage, performers were all players. We knew that. Word actor was also decades later, and then the ban on women on stage was lifted. So women were referred to be as both actors and actresses, and then the latter term began reserved for them later on. So basically, they were actors and actresses. So actually,
I
if
don't hear a
anything,
Y in there. I just hear.
It depends. It depends on your view, because like this is a conversation that we should probably have on a separate forum. But it's like the actors played the actresses before the women were allowed in Shakespearean time, right?
I know that.
But
So
yeah, they're all players. Yeah.
yeah, but every person on stage was a man.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's-
When they had a band, yeah.
Yeah. So to make the difference, and this is what I'm saying. Let's not get into this conversation right now, because like the men that played specifically women because they had feminine features or whatever, they would have been addressed as actresses, right?
You know what's so funny? Yeah, you said let's not get into this now because, and then you just started explaining. So I'm confused.
but-
Do you want us to
but
get
yeah.
into it or you don't? Why are you getting so butthurt? I'm asking a genuine question. You confused me.
What if I wanted to be mouth hurt? Don't assume my hurt.
Yo, Bob,
Yeah.
do you have?
Daniel, you can't lean back like that with your mic like that, bro.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yo.
yeah.
There
Yeah,
you go.
there you are.
Do you,
Now I can hear you.
do you
And the
have
thing
a?
is, do I have one of my top 5?
Yeah. Do you have a pick? Do you have a
Of course I do.
contribution to the conversation today?
Mr. David Chappelle. And I feel like part of the reason why, and she may not like hearing this, but part of the reason why I'm with my missus is because she's from Ohio, just like he is.
You just wanted to get close.
Yeah, I was like, Dave can do it, I can do it. But he is in my top 5 for the reasons being, he is literally a comedy genius, and the Chappelle Show literally changed TV. I don't think, like, I love Key and Peele, but I don't think they would have had a platform without the Chappelle Show and the way that they did things. I remember Peele doing like You've Been Framed. I don't know, like do you know what I mean? Like, he used to do like a TV show. He was a host.
Go on, mate. Go on.
I remember him doing that. I didn't see him as a comedian or a sketch artist. But then after the Chappelle Show came out, him and Key, they did their thing and was just like, yo, this is sick. He's really good at this. But I don't think that show would have come about if the Chappelle Show hadn't been locked off because of Lord Chappelle.
Oh, was that the end of a sentence?
There was a full stop after Chappelle.
Okay. He's my number 1 pick as well. The first comedian, like, not the first comedian. I watched Killing Me Softly. I don't even think I knew who he was, but I bought I bought a comedy DVD, put it on, and it was kind of laughter that I didn't realize why I was laughing. So I was forced into laughter. I was like half depressed, ill and stuff, stuck at home. I was buying comedy DVDs to spruce up my mood, and it was proper.
That makes me feel so sad that I didn't know that.
I'll always bring you over with the new Def Comedy
when
Jam.
you watch them, you would have he had Def Comedy Jam 1 to 38, and then I was like, oh yeah, let's watch this, and I didn't know it was because you were sad.
Anyway, I was packing up my own mood with stand-up comedy, and oh man, fell in love right from then. And I didn't even really too I like certain sketches from Chappelle show, but I don't think I like the show as much as the world loves it. Like, I find him funny, but those sketches, they're like on and off for me.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Not every sketch is my favorite, but
I kind of feel like it's an American thing like that. You know, it works for a bit more of an American audience. They get it more. It's more relatable to them, so it's cool. Yeah.
Oh, it's going down. So, Justin, during this time, would you like to throw in some input as to your feelings about Dave Chappelle?
Yeah. During this time, my inputs about Dave Chappelle are essentially that he is definitely on my list. He kind of reminds me of... He's a pop star, man. He's a pop star in comedy. In the idea where he has this ability to not essentially reinvent himself, but he has this... Oh, hello. We've got musical interludes.
Sorry, text messages. Oh, shit.
It's fine.
Carry on.
You found a new way to interrupt me. This is great.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So, Daniel, you alright?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I didn't know if he was frozen or not.
He's like...
had a minute.
So basically he's kind of like a pop star to me in a sense where like he's managed to, I don't even want to say the word reinvent himself. It's more like he has probably ironically the best timing as well to come in with a show or to see him hosting Saturday Night Live or whatever it is. Like he has the greatest timing for it, and every time he comes he always slaps. He absolutely bangs. Like even in the time where last year, when everything was really PC, it was just like, yo, comedians were getting left, right, and centre done up for this, that, and the other. You can't say that, you can't do this, and like the whole comedy community was like, it was killing comedy in that sense. And Dave Chappelle just went, fuck it, and he came out, did this show, and actually threw everything out of the water. Fuck your stereotypes. Fuck the way you feel.
That was really
Fuck
good.
this. And it was just like, this is it. This is what everyone's been waiting for. So it feels like everyone can kind of like breathe again and then go, okay, cool. And everything you try to throw at him, it's like, yeah, but this, that, and the other. And it's like you can't really find a way in to get him, even if they've tried and whatever. And I think he's like literally a modern day pop star, man, in comedy.
I kind of feel like he... go on. Sorry.
It's cool. And I kind of feel like... I kind of feel that I've lost my train of thought because people are coming back to me. But I kind of feel that, you know, he's more than a comedian, isn't it? He's literally a spokesperson for... He's one of basically the greatest observationists we have in our time. Yeah. And he's so good at kind of looking at things and just going, look, this is how I see it. What do you guys think? And he has an ability to portray that story in such a way that it's just like, I mean, damn.
I have a hard time not taking his word for gospel, like, you know.
Of course,
it's
of course.
I relate so much to so much of what he says that I can fall into the trap of turning my blinkers off and just believing everything he says, like what he says is gospel. You know, don't do my own research or anything like that. But you know, 9 times out of 10, he's hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. Like, even it's mad with that whole Azealia Banks thing, right? Everyone thought, oh, we got him. And then all he did was like, well,
one line.
So one little
Just
line.
One line.
And then that was it. We acknowledged it. Moved on, kept it moving. Didn't have to swim and go, oh, that's a bit awkward.
Yo, I feel like
he's... Fuck it, I got a big dick.
He's the reason you talk like a typewriter.
I could well be, man.
I feel he does that too.
He killed Netflix. He killed the Netflix game. Nobody did Netflix the way he did Netflix. Like they gave him whatever that deal he's got from Netflix, and his like one of the specials. He just told that story about the prostitute and the pimp.
Oh, and the baby.
No, the Netflix
baby.
special.
Oh, this is a different one. He loves. I guess he.
Yeah, it's
some
I think it's Sticks and Stones. Is it Sticks and Stones? I can't remember what it's called.
I was thinking about the old school one.
Yeah, the old school one was dope. That's my favorite. Like
Sticks and Stones,
that. It's not my favorite one. So it's not my favorite one anymore. That it was my favorite one for a long time. But he just. I mean, every show that he comes out with feels like better than the last one. Apart from the first Netflix special he did. I didn't feel like
you don't speak bad about Mr. Chappelle.
I've gone back and watched it since, and I love it more than I love the old ones now. But when I first watched it might have just been because he was fresh and I wasn't expecting him to be who he was. I don't know what I expected. I'm so in love with Dave Chappelle. It's ridiculous. It's
Would you
I
put
feel
him
like
in your top 5 rescue alls?
I'm not gonna say. I feel like he is. I feel like he may have benefited from being blackballed because I wonder how free his comedy would be if he was concerned about movie roles. If he was concerned about the view of his employers. He seems to be living on his own terms and just doing his own thing and telling the most crude and gruesome I kicked her in the pussy sort of. I wonder if being blackballed helped.
Did he kick her or did he punch her?
Kicked.
Oh man,
I think punch was no, that wasn't even Trump. He did something else to a pussy.
No, he grabs him by the pussy.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Okay, but that wasn't a joke. That was real life.
No, that was sarcasm.
Yeah, it wasn't true either.
That's what he said.
Yeah, but
he said when you're famous, you can do whatever you like. You just grab him by the pussy, and
but it was like a bad joke, wasn't it? It was just like,
Mr.
Mr. Trump, you shouldn't be saying these things. You're the president.
He wasn't the president back then. He was just grabbing people by the pussy.
Yeah.
I suppose it's Nicholas' turn again.
What? Oh no! Someone else go. Someone else
you're
have
right. You're right. No, I'll go with my second then.
It's not all about me, guys.
Now there's some legends out there which I'm just gonna neglect because they don't hit me in the way that Patrice O'Neill has hit me.
Oh shit! He's a
you guys know Patrice O'Neill flipping.
Yeah.
I mean, I listened to his stand up. Like I wasn't even watching it. I was listening to it on my phone and just on the bus and just trying to hide from people. The tears rolling down my eyes. Like I can't even. You know what? The funny thing is, I don't think I could recite a joke. I don't think I could tell you a joke he said. I know there's something about aiming lasers.
You can't do it the way he does it.
Or something like that. But it's not even like I'd be ashamed to recite the joke because it wasn't funny. I don't remember. All I remember is the fact that I could not stop laughing and I needed to watch more. And that's what I did. I just started binging or anything I could find of him because it's so hard to find anything of him. But he just seemed to like comedy was just his language. He it's a shame that he died because he missed out on the way that comedy is so accessible now, because he would have been on top if he was a part of, if he was involved in the game still.
I really appreciate him, and he would probably be one of my honourable mentions, but I can't say that I've listened to enough of him. Like, I do know that when he did perform, was like, holy shit. Like, he's talking about such inappropriate things, but I can laugh about it with mum or dad or wherever. It's just like, no, it's just, it's inappropriate, but it's true.
There was one joke I remember that killed me. He asked the women in the audience, what would you do if you lost your vagina? That's it. You just got amputated in an accident. And they gave what their answers, like the mouth, the asshole. And he's like, no, one of you thought about it, learning how to play PlayStation or asking him. Oh man, Patrice O'Neill's a legend, man. Like he may be the most underrated comedian that I'm aware of, because I don't hear his name mentioned enough at all. All right.
Daniel, why are you like this?
Like what?
It's like you finish speaking, you're like, I'm gonna look away now.
love to play along with whatever joke, but like my list is up here that I'm editing as I go along for the
Okay.
show. It's basically showing.
Oh, he's looking at the other screen. Oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
For those of you that are listening,
Kinda
he
what I
has
did.
like 3 screens. One of them's got porn, one of them's got us, and the other one has
Something in between.
like an, it's like a little black book on his laptop.
Justin, do you have another? Or who's your second
God.
pick, Justin?
Look at that face of disdain. Oh
Sorry,
my
did
God.
Patrice O'Neill make anybody's list?
No, I really like him.
I like him.
He's on my
I like
honourable
him.
mentions.
But no. So first name on my list is probably Paul Mooney.
Sorry, was Dave on your list, Justin? Dave was on your list.
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Okay,
Okay, Paul Mooney. Okay, cool.
So
Do you know who Paul Mooney is?
I know who Paul Mooney is.
Second
Paul
name
Mooney.
on your list then.
What you said, Nicholas?
I said it's the second name on his list because did you not agree with Dave Chappelle?
Leave him
Yes.
alone, man.
I agree with Dave Chappelle. He's coming for
really
us,
arguing.
mate. He wants blood. Right, okay, Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney basically, like, he's one of those people that I feel could say anything and get away with it. And you kind of just... he's one of those comedians that, like, you'd be like, if your white friend was like, "Oh, what, you going to comedy show? Let me come." I'm like, I don't know if this one's for you. You know, I don't know if you could. I don't know. Are you sure? Oh God, okay, cool. Come on, then. Yeah, you're like, because there's something about him where he's so, like, it's almost quite. His words are almost very vicious, but you find the humor in it, and he manages to find a really. He's very borderline from being humorous to, whoa, that's kind of deep, man. Do you know what I mean? But I just love his brazenness, man. He's just so real. He just feels like someone's uncle. Do you know what I mean? Someone's uncle who's just sick and tired of life, and he wants to share all his misery to you. And it's just so, like, it's really compelling.
Does he have a special?
I would have thought so.
I
would have thought so.
Does he have a special that comes to your mind?
Not really. Do you know what? To be honest, I just keep thinking about just seeing him in clips and stuff, and just thinking, this guy is like he's just, man.
Because Paul Mooney
It's like
only ever really made me smile and nod.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm with Daniel.
I know he's funny. And that's all I'm saying. That's funny.
I feel like, again, he's somebody for me that kind of comes across as a bit more than a comedian. You know, like how Dave Chappelle has a very almost political stance in the sense of talking for the people. Paul Mooney represents another voice too, like that. Like, if you listen to his interviews and stuff, you're like, fuck, this guy's actually mad clever. He's so freaking clever. I feel like he just, I don't know how to explain it.
I feel personally I may be a little bit biased because of in my like search for comedy and stuff, like he had dealings with Richard Pryor, and I've heard about things that cannot be confirmed or whatever or denied, but like that made him go down in my rating of him.
You see, I'm not even looking at that, man. I'm looking at content, like what you're saying to me.
Okay, but I don't know if you heard what I heard.
It doesn't really matter. It's like the whole R. Kelly debate. It's the same kind of thing.
Okay, let's not get into that then.
But it is though. It is. It's the craft. But it's the craft, isn't it? I'm telling you why he's in my top 5. It's all about the craft. I'm thinking about crafts. You talk about.
I'm just saying that why I may be biased against him. I'm not saying whatever. Like I don't want to get into this whole R. Kelly debate because then that goes off on a wild tangent, and that brings a whole new debate. But I'm just saying, like I respect him as a comedian. I think he's up there, but he's not in my top 5. Because I may have personal biases.
Okay.
I don't want us to get into that debate. I think that's a conversation.
It's a valid point. It's the reason, certain people fall out of contention for me. Like the fact that the majority of my list is going to be black males because they relate to me.
Really?
More. Yeah, they just. I mean, they
Okay.
relate to me a bit more. They say things that I'm
And
thinking. And feeling,
even though
so
they
it
might
makes
be
it's
American.
easier for me. Even though they might be American, they're speaking more my language than.
Yeah.
Maybe because I've been brought up in American media, so it makes it easier for me to relate to them.
Pardon me.
Huh?
I said pardon
Anyway, yeah. So having somebody fall down in your pecking order because their content, because of other things that aren't really in their content, it might be, it's valid, it's relevant. It happens, isn't it? Some people just kind of fall out of contention just for reasons that you can't really explain. Even if you can explain them, you can't really justify them. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
They don't bang. I don't laugh at the jokes because I've got these things. There's something else there.
Yeah, there's a barrier that's blocking the laughter. It's just that,
And I'm not trying. I'm not trying to hold the laughs in. It's just something's happened.
Yeah.
Is that because he makes you feel uncomfortable? Because it would make more sense in a way because that's the kind of humor
Probably.
I love. I love.
No.
uncomfortable humor.
His comic content doesn't make me feel uncomfortable.
Right, that's what I'm talking
Everything
about.
he
Mate.
says.
Content.
Okay.
Content.
And what I'm saying is, despite the fact that it bangs in terms of like, had I not known what I know now,
No,
I don't want to
content.
speak.
Content.
No,
Do you know
I'm
what I mean?
explaining to you. I'm
Alright,
explaining to you what I'm talking about.
All right.
Like, the content itself does not offend me. It doesn't make me biased. It's just a case of, like, I've heard certain things and I had not known them to be proved true or false. So, if it's like you mentioned R. Kelly, but it's the same reason a lot of people will refuse to let their kids watch The Cosby Show because of
Which is ridiculous.
what's happened. Yeah, but it's a case of this actor's portraying this, but in his private life is that. So the personal bias is what is holding back your appreciation for the actual artwork. And I say artwork in terms of like whether it was a painting or a song or a comedy show or whatever, it's art.
So say for example, we find out Dave Chappelle has done some bullshit in his past or whatever. That's now going to completely taint your view. All the wonderful things you just said about Dave Chappelle just now.
1, possibly. 2, probably not. Because Dave Chappelle has been very honest and raw about his whole career.
Plus,
So,
Nicholas is speaking, when he speaks about Paul Mooney, he's speaking about feelings he's already feeling and saying maybe it's because you can't really
I need to see these
say
criticisms.
this is,
Yeah, go on.
you can't really say that this is how I'm going to feel if this happens in the future because he didn't plan his feelings for Paul Mooney and he's not sticking by them out of, I don't imagine, sorry, I'm speaking for you, but I don't imagine you're sticking by these feelings for, out of stubbornness.
absolutely. And thank you, Bunton, for explaining to this comedic Neanderthal.
Bob, while he's doing that, you got a second pick?
Do I have a second pick? Oh man, this is very hard.
Paul Mooney a part of the writing team for
Why can't you say his name?
Paul Mooney. It's a lot, man.
Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney.
Was he a part of the writing for Richard Pryor? Was he one of Richard Pryor's writers?
I think.
Okay.
I think he was. Yeah.
He possibly was.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, because
I can't remember his name at the end of in the credits, in the end credits.
And
Yeah. So sorry, Justin, what you need to look up is the controversial stuff between those two. I don't want to bring it up because I don't want to. I've already done it.
They probably slept together and then
I mean, the thing is, we yeah, all right, cool, yeah.
fell out.
All right,
If
cool.
you don't want to bring it up, then
no, it's too late. It's too late. I've already brought it up. All right, cool.
Go
So
ahead.
allegedly, Paul Mooney put the moves on Richard Pryor's son,
Okay.
and Richard Pryor literally wanted to kill him himself.
on his son.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that like before I discovered that. Just for those of you that are listening, Justin's googling.
All right, no, Bob, you might go on. Go to your second pick. You got.
Just dropping
got-
bombs.
No.
Just like, yeah, let's move on.
No, Justin's gonna do his research, isn't it? We can't sit down and watch him do his research. He's just like a pick. He's gonna
No, but I thought
come
he was
out
going
over
to talk
anyway.
more about it.
Oh, you got more to
talk
say?
more about it.
Oh shit, go for it, man. What are you saying?
It doesn't matter. You cut me off.
Put his moves on his son.
Yeah.
Richie got wild.
No, because obviously Richard Pryor wasn't a pussy, or innit? Like, he was about that life. Like, he told jokes, but it was like, yo, you fucking with my son, I'm gonna fucking dead you. And that's something that I've heard, like, bodyguards and all this kind of stuff. Like before you take something at face value, you need to do your research. So, like, you can't take someone's verbal account for the truth, because they could be biased as well.
Okay.
But it was the way they spoke about it and all this other stuff and things I know about Richard Pryor that made me believe that it was a true account of events.
All right.
So you basically cancelled him, basically.
I didn't cancel him. I still listen to his stuff, but I just don't hold him in as high regard as I did before. Like, I haven't cancelled R. Kelly. I haven't cancelled anybody that everybody else has said, oh, no, this is unacceptable. It's a case of my opinion is my opinion.
In your own personal world, what does cancelling look like? Because I understand I kind of understand when the internet cancels someone, but what does if a person cancels a celebrity? What does that mean to you?
That would mean that would. Oh.
No. No.
I wouldn't have anyone on it. I literally wouldn't have anyone on it.
That's too much sadness and negativity to even think about. But if we had to do that, we would have to come up with someone. But I don't think I've cancelled anyone because of it. I haven't cancelled him. He's not in my top 5.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Do you know what the weird thing about stuff like this though is as well? It's kind of what you said in the beginning. You can't prove it, nor can you deny it, right? But still, in those situations, we kind of point towards people being guilty rather than anything else, because it's obviously clouded your image or vision of him, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's one thing I kind of have a problem with most of these things, when people kind of like, and I'm not necessarily saying you either, Boom. It's just like people kind of go, oh my gosh, like it's like there are certain crimes that if you get accused of, there's no turning back. There's no turning back. That stain is there.
For example, rape or paedophilia. If you're accused of either of those and you're innocent, it doesn't matter because you've been associated with those crimes.
100%, and there's no turning back. There's no turning back. It doesn't matter how many times you go to the courts and whatever, and then they say no, he wasn't guilty. It was all a lie. People are still going to be like, hey, wasn't that guy who got done for rape? Do you know what I mean? It will still be a thing. So that's why sometimes with these things I'm a bit more cautious, and I'm like, okay. Yes, 100% might well have done it. People say he did, fair enough. But then there's also another 100% where he might not have done it. So it's all a bit. So because of that, I just try not to let it clouds my vision. I'll be like, all right, cool. Well,
I'm not letting it cloud my vision. I'm not letting it cloud my vision. But it's a case of like, if I've got a cousin that says, oh yeah, don't go to Uncle so and so's house because he touched me inappropriately.
Most definitely, yeah.
I'm not gonna go there and be like, oh yeah, well if he touched you, he better touch me because I feel left out.
What?
I know what he means, but
do you? Shit.
How do you not like Paul Mooney?
No, the thing is, what I'm saying. No, let me explain to Daniel.
The thing is, Nick. I think you're personalising this though, because we don't know Paul Mooney. He's not our friend. He's not our uncle. He's not our bridging. Okay. So it's easier for us to look outside and go, well, that's his content. I don't know about his character. I never met him. He could be an arsehole when I met him. Do you know what I mean? So it's more about. Wait. Okay. Yeah. That's
anyway. Daniel's gonna struggle with it, but let's move on to my second, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we can't move on to the second because Daniel doesn't understand me.
No. I understood you before you started rambling to Justin. I got it, man. I don't need any more.
You don't need any more, but I made that whole thing, and you just like, what?
Okay, no.
What are you talking about?
I'm like, yo, you don't want to get fondled by your uncle. Like, I get you. I don't want to either. Let's go.
Okay. I'll introduce you to the uncle later. You're a big man. You can handle it.
I hope that doesn't make a snippet, man. We're like, huh? What now?
All right, my number two is the late great Bernie Mac.
Hey,
Bernie.
this is gonna be really difficult, guys.
This is why it's the top 5.
Do you know what? I think this is gonna be one of those lists that if either of you guys have got them in, then I don't need them to be in mine as well because they're there. Do you know
Is that what
I mean?
you're gonna do? You really?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah,
No,
because
no,
I feel like
no,
there's a
no.
because I get it, but I feel like there's some that like it's unquestionable. Bernie Mac, of course. But then I'm like, but you know what? That means that this person will never get a mention in situations like this. So I'm like,
that's why.
It's not your job to mention them.
That's why we
Otherwise,
have
we can
honourable
have
mentions.
5
But
similar lists.
and we could. That's the thing, though. We could get a 5 for 5, a 555 episode, and that would be like, yo. That's like we can imagine that's what we're aiming for. We're trying to see where trying to get a perfect score. Or like 2 of us get a perfect score and then the other person's left out.
Yeah,
and
but
they lost.
It's never gonna happen.
They lost the episode.
It would never happen if you decide, because he said it, I'm not gonna add them to my top 5.
Yeah, just make it your true top 5.
Just don't lie to yourself. Bernie's there. Shut your mouth.
Go on, boss.
Son of money.
All right, cool. I think his TV show, all of the specials I've seen him in, from Def Comedy Gen, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. Like, oh my gosh, that was my mantra when I was going on stage. I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of you. Like, whenever I get nervous when I was on
Blessed.
stage.
Big boned.
Absolutely. Like, he was such an inspiration for me. Milk and cookies.
Sorry.
No, that's one of the jokes I was gonna reference. That is such a banging joke, and it's timeless. It's timeless. Him downstairs. Is that what? Where's the milk and cookies? Like, that was what he was such a great storyteller, and it was like.
Do you know what?
I think I blame him for a lot of the waffling that I do because he waffles in such an excellent way.
You don't waffle. What are you talking about? Who said you waffle?
Okay, hey, that Kings of Comedy.
Wait. Can we just acknowledge that Daniel just did this big old dad laugh? I'm loaded. He's fucking buffering his laughter.
Yo, Bernie Mac wasn't my favorite on the Kings of Comedy movie.
Hamburger.
What? Don't bring that guy's name into anything.
It's just that phrase. I don't know what
Idiot
else
with
he
his
did,
cowboy hat.
Hamburger.
Yo, yeah, he wasn't my favorite in that show, and he's not in my top 5, and I haven't even mentioned him in my like.
Who was your favorite?
I have for Steve Harvey.
Oh yeah.
As a host, killed him, man.
Was he a host or was he one of?
He didn't have. He was a king. He was a king of comedy, but he didn't have his own set. He just told jokes in between the sets, and they were like mini sets. But I laughed more at that. But my favorite was Cedric the Entertainer. Those jokes hit home for me. I think that's when he's oh man, I can't remember what the jokes were, but yeah, he killed
those jokes hit home, but now those jokes are homeless. What the fuck did you just say?
I don't know.
Remember the jokes. They hit home, but now they have nowhere to live in my mind.
Yeah, I can't say nothing, man. I can't say nothing.
Stop it! I feel like Justin has tainted you and made you more Jamaican than you
what?
did in this episode.
I'm so hardly Jamaican. I'm so embarrassed to to claim my Jamaicanness in front of Jamaicans. Like, who are you? Get out of here, English picnic. My granddad used to call
English boy.
Granddad used to call me English picnic. Like, he used to call us all English picnic. So I'm just like, I can't claim anything, man.
Sorry about that. Sorry. We can't justify it. You're the least Jamaican I know.
Yeah, for real.
Oh man.
What is this?
It's all good with you.
No, the thing is, I honestly, I feel like
chicken.
you get more Jamaican when jerked chicken.
Jerked chicken.
What is this? Paprika? Is there paprika on this? Whose bonnet is this? Why is it Scottish?
Callahoo? Callahoo?
I feel an alopecia joke coming up.
It's okay.
No, what I'm gonna say to you is, you are the most Jamaican when. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to bring it up. When you get the rage, when the rage comes out, it just comes out of you, and it's like, oh, the blood clot, yeah, dealing with it. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, I've never blood clotted anybody, so I don't know where you found
Oh
it.
no, you
Blood
probably
clot somebody.
like I would say you black out, but it's probably like you see green, yellow, and black, and then you don't know what's happening.
Yeah. Justin, was Benny Mac on your list?
Moving on swiftly.
Was Benny Mac on your list? You really like struggling with it. You want to mention some other comedy comedians.
Because the thing is, it sounds stupid. Like, of course he's on the list, but now this, if I put him on the list, it changes my whole list.
All right, Justin, listen. Let me say this: you've got a top 5, but then you also have a top 10. You also have a top 50. This
You're like the worst kind of person. You're that kind of person who just like changes his whole view because it's just
no.
It's too big.
Shut up, Daniel.
I think when I thought about this topic, I thought about personal experiences. So there are people that
met them.
There are people that we know that undeniably we can say yes, they're great and stuff. But when you resonate to something or someone because of whatever reason it is.
Yeah. So this has to be your list of people who resonates with you. Your top 5 comedians.
Aware of that.
So what's your problem?
But
then?
also,
the Benny Mac doesn't.
Yeah. You're saying that, but you're the person who also said, yeah, but you have to then just, if we get perfect top 5.
Hold on, wait. When does his patois go to India?
His mic is not working properly, so that's why I hear.
Idiot. I'm saying, like, if these people, okay, all right, you're speaking about the greatness of the comedians, and then you're speaking about separately your feelings about the comedians, and both of those go together. No, they don't go together. Disregard the greatness of the comedians if they don't relate to you in that way. Richard Pryor doesn't make my top 5. He's the greatest.
Yeah.
All hail Richard Pryor, but he doesn't make my top 5 because I don't resonate with him in that way.
Because it's
if we get, but the thing is, what would make us 3 have a top 5 that would possibly be the same is our shared experiences and the fact that we, our access to comedians is pretty much kind of the same. Our top 5s are not the same, but we do all of these top 5s, and we've had so many crossovers just because our experience is the same. So it's like the general consensus of who the best are. Fuck that. Let them have their top 5. Justin, what do you believe in?
Is it my turn?
I believe in a thing called love.
You might as well, man. Everyone's got 3. 2.
Okay,
sorry,
cool.
Everyone's got 2.
Seeing as it's my turn, then I'm gonna go for one of the big guns too. Now my big gun today, sir.
I mean, we all said Dave Chappelle. So is there a bigger gun than it?
There's a bigger gun. It's Ed, man. Eddie Murphy. Most definitely. Like I can't think of a bigger comedy influence on myself than Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is king.
Excuse me 1 second. Carry on talking.
Excuse me, but carry on talking.
What?
Yo.
Okay, all right. So I get you. Hey, all right.
Let me just answer the phone call. I get it. All right, cool. All right, that made sense now. Visually, man. If it wasn't for visuals, I tell you, I'd be so fucking confused. So yeah, Eddie Murphy, man. Eddie Murphy, like one of the first stand-ups I can remember seeing as a kid.
Me too.
Like when I remember him coming out in that jacket and me thinking, right, he thinks he's Michael Jackson. Like, and then all the jokes that came with it, ice cream, like everything. And then I remember being so mesmerized by this black guy who could do a Brooklyn accent. Do you know, it spun me like, whoa, he's doing Italian. I mean, I was a kid, obviously. So, whoa, he's doing Italian accent. This is mad. Like, how I can't even know. Like, it just so many things kind of like spun me about him. And then obviously Actually, I think I might have seen him in Beverly Hills Cop before I saw his stand-up. Possibly. Beverly Hills Cop, to this day, no scene by scene. Like, just incredible. Like, and then, obviously, as you get older and you start to realise he was only, like, 19, 20 or whatever when he done that film. And you're like, that's insane. In the 80s, in the 80s, at a time where, you know, like, there wasn't anyone that kind of represented us on TV.
Sorry, what did you say?
Their own. Do you know what I'm saying?
It is joking. I was listening to
quite like it's quite a weird, like, it's kind of, yeah, man. Yeah, Eddie all day.
Justin, question. Was he 19, 20 when he was doing SNL?
I think he was younger. I think he was. Yeah, he must have been. No, actually,
no, because he started doing comedy from when he was a kid.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I think that was like in like
early teens.
There's video footage of him. Oh no.
I think.
Yeah, no. The one. I don't know if it was Raw. But he was 19. No. When he started practicing comedy. Like,
no, I mean SNL. He was 19.
SNL 19, yeah, because he was doing comedy from earlier than that, and that's why.
And his brother was taking him around and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and Charlie, R.I.P. Charlie. He's a legend of his own, and he came into his own. Like, he's not in my top 5, but I do appreciate. No, I'm saying, like, I do appreciate. He's an honourable mention. I don't feel like we have to leave honourable mentions to the end, because, like, you know, but I don't think Eddie would have been what he was without Charlie. To be fair.
Well, yeah,
oh man, Eddie Murphy's impression of Charlie Murphy. Oh my days! Oh my gosh, it's so perfect.
I don't know if you can see it. I literally got goosebumps thinking about it. It was.
Oh, it's so perfect. Oh my gosh. Have you heard Eddie Murphy? Eddie Murphy was on Comedians in Cars getting coffee with Jerry Seinfeld. Have you guys seen it? And he says he wonders what homeless people think about campers.
Yeah.
Y'all think this is a fucking joke, don't you?
This is why you couldn't be on stage, because you didn't even finish telling his joke. You didn't even finish telling his joke before you started busting up.
Oh man. You know what, Eddie Murphy? I don't want to put him on my list because I feel like he doesn't relate.
No, because you've tainted it now. You've tainted it now.
No,
he's been listed. We need.
Okay.
No,
all right.
He
okay, so this is my feelings. So Eddie Murphy, those stand-up shows don't resonate with me. But Eddie Murphy is still a comedian when he's being a comical actor and when you see him talk in his talk shows. So I take when we choose our top 5 comedians, I think about the stand-up, innit? That's what I think of. But I kind of have to acknowledge they are more than the comedian. Sorry, they are more than the stand-up show. Eddie Murphy is hilarious everywhere, and I have to probably put him in to this day. You know, I'm gonna see how I feel as the show goes on, because I'm not gonna say his name just yet. I'm gonna have to see if I
just put his name in, man.
I can't, man, because I don't want to have to trade him out. I don't want to put his name in and then trade him out. I'd rather put his name in and make it stay there.
How could you trade it out? I don't know who possibly you could have that's better than Eddie Murphy.
Okay, all right. Look, Eddie Murphy's in. It's because it's like.
Don't succumb to peer pressure. What the fuck? Who are you? Who are you?
As great as Eddie Murphy is, there may be other comedians. There are other comedians who are just in my heart. I just feel them, like.
Wow.
All right, look. No, he's
a creepy uncle.
He is on the list, just because of everything. Just because of everything. Just a small thing.
I'm gonna take a page out of Justin's book, and I'm not gonna put him in because he said it already.
Okay, dickhead. Is he on your list, Nicholas?
No, he was gonna be, but
I swear he has to be.
What kind of fucking evil cartoon villain laugh was that?
This is what he does every episode. He just tries to infiltrate his way into our lists and our minds.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like, do you remember that time you were 2 years old and you had an ice cream? You got some ice cream. You got some ice cream.
Him and Justin and his little list, his way to try and discipline us into doing as we're told.
Oh no, this is we're getting ticked off his list. We're getting ticked off his list as we go through this episode.
You guys think too much, man. You think far too much.
Bob, is he on your list?
Yeah. Fucking amazing. He set pace. And it wasn't even just because of what he did, but he was like the biggest comedian in the 80s or whatever. And it wasn't just him. Like Keenan Wayans, all of that. Like a lot of people don't realize that I think he didn't do a stand-up special. But he was behind the scenes.
Oh, sorry.
He did, yeah. It was favorite comedian, so it has to be stand-up.
No, it doesn't. Why?
Oh, I just fucked your list.
Well, yeah. How does it have to be stand-up? His favorite comedian.
Okay.
Comedians not all comedians are stand-ups.
Tell me a comedian who isn't a stand-up. I'm not arguing with you. I'd just like to know.
Will Smith.
Is Will Smith a comedian?
Yes.
You can
okay.
Your dirty
all right.
mouth. No.
Do you know what? Because
how is Will Smith not a comedian? Tell me. Wait, stop. Listen
you're going to stop me when you ask the question. How is Will Smith not a comedian?
Because you're not
I'm about
answering
to
the
tell
question.
you.
Go on.
Okay, so you interrupted me even though I was answering.
Answer the
question.
question. He's letting you answer now. He's letting you answer now.
I'm going to answer it. Stop talking.
He's letting you answer.
Can you lower the decibels?
Okay, hold on, wait. Let me do something. I'm gonna check the reverb.
That shit made me laugh. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm gonna check the reverb.
Oh fucking! Sorry, I should be swearing. Why I'm swearing?
I'm the host. I don't swear.
Hold on, wait. Hold on,
host, don't swear.
No, wait. Shush. You're ruining. I have to press shift.
Just lower the decibels.
Shift command.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
See,
no.
Yeah, because he can't answer the question. That's why.
No, shut your dirty fucking mouth. I had to lower the reverb. You told me to take the tones down. The reason why I and Daniel and the majority of the world know that Will Smith is not a comedian.
Why are you bringing in the whole?
I don't know. I'm asking.
Oh,
I'm asking.
Oh,
I don't
look
know.
at you trying to get allegiance from people that don't even know.
Okay.
Go on. Explain.
So, would you? Okay.
Go on, tell me how he's not. That's all I want to
Let
know.
the man talk, Justin. Shut up, man.
He's not talking in time.
Are we ready? Okay. So, he did a list of things he wanted to do off of his bucket list. One of them was to do stand-up comedy. He acknowledges the fact that he is not a comedian. He just knows he's a funny person. He's a funny person. He's a funny comedic actor, but he is not a comedian.
That's kind of how I feel.
If you want to, that's kind of how you feel. Because you know. This is what I'm saying.
What's your definition of a comedian?
Oh, fuck off.
What? Why should I fuck off? I'm asking you a question.
My definition of a comedian is someone that goes up on stage and does a set from 5 minutes to an hour-long special or whatever, and they have anecdotes and stories to tell, and they riff off the audience.
So Justin,
blah, blah, blah.
What's a stand-up comedian then? Why is there a definition of a stand-up comedian?
Would you take the word comedian and say that it was like the top of the pyramid that leads out into the stand-up comedian, comedic actor, and all of those other?
Yeah, definitely.
things?
Definitely.
Well,
so as a comedian, so a writer.
Doesn't mean you're a stand-up.
A writer
is a comedic writer. Is a comedic writer a comedian as well?
Well, they are a type of comedian. Yeah. They're a type of comedian.
But
this is uncomfortable, man.
All right,
look. They write comedy.
They're a writer.
Think about it, yeah. A stand-up is a specific type of comedy, right? There are so many branches of comedy, so many different things that people could do in comedy. Sketch shows, sketch comics are sketch comedians. They are still under the umbrella and branch of comedians.
Okay, but this is the thing, though.
The question was your top 5 comedian. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, the question was a top 5 comedian. You'll say, if you're talking about stand-ups, that makes more sense. So you're talking about, okay, cool, someone who's a stand-up, has their own show and whatever. When you talk about comedians, you're talking about anybody who can make an audience laugh.
No, that's what you're talking
An
about.
actor.
That's what you're talking about.
Justin, you're not like arguing a point. You're just re-emphasizing your point that a comedian.
Okay, cool. All right. Should we have a look at the definition of comedian? Should we do that?
Please.
Go for it. You
do that,
right, cool.
Mr.
And I'm gonna tell you what I believe your understanding to be is that funny people.
Here we go.
Funny people.
Are you ready?
Can be comedians. Go on.
An entertainer on stage or television whose act is designed to make an audience laugh. A comic actor or playwright. Whoa. Mind blown. A person who is or thinks himself to be amusing or entertaining. A comedian. Some people get called comedians in school. Does it mean that they're stand-ups? Of course not.
That's a point.
Okay.
I'm so curious to know, though, how far away from the performance can you be to be qualified as a comedian? Like, if the writer, writer is the comedian as well, because they put on the... What about the producer who put this all together?
Okay, look, let me specify then, because clearly I wasn't clear enough. When I made this suggestion, I was thinking stand-up comedians, the people that get up on stage, tell jokes for 5 minutes to an hour.
I'm sorry,
not the background people.
I've done all my research based on comedian and what comedian
What
means.
do you mean you've done all your research?
Yeah, I have. I've done my research on my top 5. Yeah.
Okay. But you didn't understand what I said because I wasn't clear in the first place.
But now you can't change it now. Yeah, because then we'd have to start all over again, and I've got to find my top 5 comedians.
Comedians. All right, cool. So that's your stance, yeah? So who's on your list right now? Daniel, can you tell us? No, Daniel's got the list.
All right, so on Justin's list, Justin specifically, Dave Chappelle, Paul Mooney, Eddie Murphy.
Okay, so why are 3 out of your possible 5 automatically stand-ups? Explain that to me, please, because I thought we were all under the understanding that it was stand-up comedians.
No, Actually, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I actually asked this question, and it was, let's see when we get there. And now we're here. This is what we're seeing. Do you remember me saying that? Anyone remember me saying that?
Nope.
I remember you asking questions.
Okay, cool. And then I remember I got shut down. I was like, no, I remember Nick go, actually, no, because we're gonna find that out. We'll ask that question.
All right. Oh no, you said this already.
The question's been answered. So, the question is, why are 3 of my 5 stand-up comedians? Because I love stand-up comedy. Funny enough, my next 2 aren't.
Okay,
do you know why?
So you're fighting for those 2?
No, I'm fighting for comedian. You said top 5 comedian. What a comedian is to me is someone who's funny. Right, think about it like this. We do this in the UK so much as well. Think about any of the UK...
Okay.
Wait, stop. I haven't finished. Thank you. So, in the UK, we do this a lot, yeah. You think about when people talk about, comedian. You got... people that do sketches and stuff and do it on Instagram and whatever, people go, he's a funny comedian. People call themselves comedian as well in their names and whatever. Some of them haven't done stand-up, but we all see them as comedians because comedian is the collective form of a performer who is trying to make people laugh. That's what comedians do. That's what comedians do.
This is your fault. This is happening right now.
Okay.
What's happening? It's okay to disagree about it. It's fine to disagree.
No, it's not the disagreement. It's the fact that you're on a pulpit right now preaching to us. And I said to you that you're really hyped up.
I tried to bring this up earlier. No one wanted to hear me. So I was like,
Okay, so you... I'm not even going to just try...
I'm actually confused at the fact that you guys assume comedians are just stand-ups. I actually find that confusing.
Why do you find that confusing?
Because... Okay. I think it's stand-up comedy.
I acknowledge everything you've said. Everything you've said since to explain comedian the way you understand it. I actually relate to. I get in an understanding, almost learning because I kind of felt that way before. But in the context that Nicholas put it, well, he didn't put it in a context. He said comedian. My mind went to stand-up comedians. I did have a small thought about people who weren't actually stand-ups. I did think about like comedic writers and stuff, but I kind of just dismissed them because their comedy doesn't resonate as much with me. I don't think about them as comedians. It's just the way we think, or I think. So I guess, we kind of have to figure out what the rules are right now,
which is what I suggested, but Justin said it's too late.
No, well, okay.
I mean,
You don't remember?
Well,
Do you remember when he said that? Do you remember
thing
when he
is,
was
Justin-
in Hyde Park Corner?
but the thing
shouting
is-
at us?
But the thing is, Justin is a part of the rule, a part of the rule makers. We're all here together to agree. So Justin needs to put his point
Okay,
across to
so-
say that we need to include X, Y, Z,
And
and I
you
kind of
know
feel that it's valid. I say, yeah, we should.
Do you know what? I feel like Justin is right in his argument, and I can see the fact that I wasn't specific in the way I was talking. But
You're recording this, right?
if-
Sorry, checking.
If like in previous episodes there was any confusion, we usually have the conversation at the beginning, right?
And we have conversations in the middle, and we have conversations near the end. It continues. We do it. It happens.
You're a pussy, and you called me the king of puss. I asked you a question. We usually define the rules at the beginning, and
then we frequently say, yeah, I don't know, right? And we quite frequently say as we go along, do you know what? Don't worry, we'll get there. We'll figure it out when we come up to it. I'm asking
so what
questions.
the fuck do you want to do, sir?
What's a hit? What's a Michael Jackson hit? We'll figure it out when we go along. We're just like
we didn't
decide.
discuss that. We didn't discuss that. I was under the impression that everybody understood me when we came up with the title,
Do you know
comedian
what?
and comedian.
I don't think
That's
I don't
fair.
think
It
that's
doesn't
true.
matter. We're here now, so let's decide. I think we should include the comedian the way that it's been discovered by Google. Comedian, the writers, the people who make us laugh.
Okay.
I mean,
I
to be
will,
honest, like, yeah.
I will concede it, even though this is my topic. But fuck it, innit? If you guys misunderstood my topic, then it's down to me to explain it. But I didn't. So, in terms of like politics and debate.
All right, so you don't want to see anybody who's not a comedian.
No, I
spoken
don't give
about
a
today.
fuck anymore.
I mean, it's
I don't
not
give a fuck
standard.
anymore. This always happens. This always fucking happens, and I'm tired of it. I'm honestly tired of it. I'm honestly tired of it. Whoever you think is funny, like Uncle Tom from way down the way, he can be there. He's a comedian because he's been on stage.
Wow.
So you'd prefer the subject be stand-up comedians?
I don't know. No, we're sticking with what we did.
Okay, all right. We all got 3 each. Everyone's got Eddie Murphy on their list. I'm gonna go.
Oh, okay.
You guys look tense.
No, I'm fine. I'm just.
You're always
all
saying that,
these
Justin, and then we all
comedians.
get the pour of emotion later on. All right, Bob, do you want to give your fourth?
My fourth. So are we taking on board comedy writers and all of that kind of stuff as well?
Well, who
If
you
it
got?
helps, my list has gone out the window a little bit now because I'm just like I don't even know.
Who have you got, man? We'll dispute it when you bring the person up.
Well, I'm changing it as we go along because I'm just.
Well,
like,
I'm not asking you anymore. I'm asking Nicholas.
It's funny when you're not on the other end of it. All right. So, I am going to say, George Carlin.
Really? Shit.
Yeah, he spoke about, like, he acknowledged his white privilege before a lot of other people did.
Before it was fashionable.
Yeah, and it was like when I listened, like from when I recently discovered him with obviously current events and stuff, but like the stuff he spoke about, he was very much a hippie, and it was very much like fuck the government, fuck everybody, fuck this, that, and the other. He reminds me of Dave Chappelle, but his views were more in alignment. Like he wasn't like sketch funny. Like he was more political. So he was observant of the current climate, but he said things that a lot of people weren't brave enough to say. He could have been cancelled, but he didn't have the cancel culture at that time.
Yeah.
But he used his white privilege before people acknowledged that it was actually a thing. Not only that, the messages that he sent in some of his shows, I was just like, raw. I never even thought about it like that.
You know, I've only ever seen George Carlin clips. I've never actually seen anything of his. Like,
Huh?
I've only ever seen George Carlin clips. I've never actually seen anything of substance. Is he?
Yeah.
Is he in Bill and Ted? Is that him?
Was that
with the Godfather of whatever.
It might have been him.
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Just to do your fucking job.
Sorry, what was it? Sorry.
Was like, hey, let's talk about this. No, you're the Google man.
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
I feel like he was the guy that kind of guided them on their excellent adventure.
Yes, it is George Carlin.
It's funny. Yeah, I know his face, and I've seen clips of him. He comes up with these racially tense times. He comes up on the timeline quite a bit every now and then. But yeah, I don't know him like that. It's fine. I find it whenever I hear one of you guys throw a name in there like that, I'm like, really? Like when you said something about, I think it was a Three Stooges you said a few episodes ago. I'm like, what? When? How?
Maybe it's a new Bill and Ted then.
You hope what?
That
Justin.
George Carlin's in new
You hope
Bill and Ted.
didn't he die? Isn't he dead?
Oh.
Justin.
Well, I never knew.
Can't wait to hear
Sorry,
his new
I didn't
stuff.
get the memo.
You're on the Google right now.
I didn't get the memo. No one told me.
No, it just should be a thing that says from 19 whatever to 2000 whatever.
That's not what I googled.
You googled from the wrong angle, innit? You googled from the other side.
Yeah, no, like it was.
Oh, I never knew he died.
For
How did he
me,
die?
I don't know. I wasn't there. For me, like what he was doing back then, in terms of comedy, is what a lot of comedians do right now, but not so much as like I feel like the one that speaks the most politically is Dave Chappelle. Chris Rock does it as well a little bit, but not so much as Dave Chappelle does. But
I wouldn't say that at all. You mean speak politically?
What? Say that again.
Does it? You say he doesn't do it as much as Dave Chappelle. You mean speak politically?
I said yeah, but now, like not throughout the whole career. Like right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Okay, show for show. I think that Chris Rock speaks almost exclusively politically. Dave Chappelle kicks people in the pussy, has Little Wayne. Pussy juicy.
Stop it.
Smushes their feet together. Dave. Oh, Dave.
Ouch.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like I haven't like maybe it's because Chris Rock's not doing stage shows or whatever, but
Tambourine was last year. Sorry, I'm being a dick by even saying anything while you're talking. I'm sorry, man.
it's alright. You do this all the time. But I'm saying like right now, like I think why it's more in the forefront of my mind that Dave Chappelle is speaking on these things. Like you are right. Overall, Chris Rock's probably spoken more politically in his stand-ups and stuff like that and made jokes about them. But now I feel like Dave is speaking louder than everybody else.
Yeah, probably. He's like
with the 8.
Who do you think's bigger right now? Dave Chappelle or Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart.
You think Kevin Hart's a bigger comedian than Dave Chappelle? Yeah. Okay.
No, I don't. I disagree.
I think he is. I think, as in, like, probably monetary wise, around the world, the amount of shit that he does.
But it's not about money. I think it's about the.
So what's big then? What are we talking about then?
No. Don't do that. Don't worry about what the other person quantifies it. How they quantify the bigness. Who do you think is bigger?
I think
personally,
Dave is bigger than Kevin.
For your view of the of the world.
Yeah, I think more people.
I think you
know.
got to define big, man. It doesn't. I'm sorry.
I think you want to. I think you're just trying to just box
The reason
it in
why,
too much.
oh, the
Just
reason
let me
why
say what I'm
I,
saying.
well, the reason why I wouldn't want to like try and define it, because I think that just creates that.
Because this is our own personal preference.
No,
of
no,
what
no.
Big is.
Well, that's what I'm asking you to do. But the reason why I'm asking you to do that is because trying to get us to get in line with what bigness is, just creates, and it's like that's a whole debate in itself. What is big? And I don't really like. We can have the conversation another time. I'm curious to know, just off the cuff, who's the bigger comedian as far as you can tell.
And that's what I was trying to do.
I'm kind of on the fence with this one because.
With your own question.
Yeah, I asked the question because I wasn't sure.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, who's the biggest for me is who's the biggest for me. If someone else is bigger for them, that's them. That's
but the biggest for me is Dave Chappelle, but the biggest comedian is Kevin Hart. Do you see what I mean?
I don't know how anybody can be bigger to you individually. I thought when I assume you say bigger to you, I mean your view of the way the world looks at them. Or
the way the world looks at everybody. That's what I'm saying. The way the world looks, it's Kevin Hart.
So yeah, there will be.
Okay. It might for me.
But no.
Me,
how can you speak for the world? That's my issue. How can you speak for the world?
Because I was answering his question. No, because I was answering his question. His question was like, who do you think the biggest is? Which is why I said, well, like you need to find big, but you said no. I said cool.
So it's the three of us. The three of us friends. We're talking about our personal opinions, no?
But he
it's
said
not
who
about
do you
your
think
personal
is the
opinion.
biggest?
It isn't about okay.
So
yeah,
when you,
it is
when
your
you say
personal
think,
opinion.
is that not opinion?
Okay. In your personal opinion, yeah. Okay, so man, this is so weird. Like here we are
You
having a
this,
debate.
Daniel. You fuck this. You
I don't understand what's going on anymore.
Yeah, I know.
The thing is, he asked a question that was opinion based, and you are adding your personal opinion to the facts of the world. What I'm trying to answer is my personal opinion.
Okay, cool.
All right.
You say Dave, and Justin says Kevin.
And I didn't finish explaining myself, so I would like to finish.
Go ahead, man.
The reason I say Dave,
Why Dave?
is because he has the longevity, and as much as Kevin Hart is the biggest star at the moment, like he's making the most money, it's a case of this is the time that we're in right now.
But I kind of asked who's the biggest right now. I thought I did anyway. Who do you think the biggest is right now?
Okay, so my opinion is Dave.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence of it. I still don't know. But anyway, that's what you two think.
Well, yeah, don't fucking be a prick.
It's been a prick.
You know
I asked you. I asked you. I didn't ask me. I didn't ask me. I asked you.
The thing is, Nicholas has actually basically said the same thing as me, right? But he's given two answers. He said, yeah, people might see Kevin Hart is the biggest, but to me, Chappelle's biggest. I feel the same way. But the question I've interpreted is, who do you think the biggest is at the moment?
Okay.
It's Kevin Hart.
My interpretation
if you talk about names of people who's going to know, more people are going to know about Kevin Hart's name. But that's because he throws himself around everywhere. Chappelle does this one show. We might not see him for another 2 years. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, and he has that now. He's allowed to do that.
Well, the reason why I thought it was a valid question is because of the amount that Dave Chappelle's put out in the last 2-3 years. I think it's been since he got the Netflix deal. I think it's been more content than Dave Chappelle than Kevin Hart's put out. But then Kevin Hart's got his films. But the films, even with the films, I don't know if Kevin Hart has been doing as much as Dave Chappelle's been doing. They kind of sit in a level playing field right now. And when Dave Chappelle hits, he seems to hit the heart of a lot of people. So their opinions of Dave Chappelle is a lot bigger, but Kevin Hart seems to hit a lot more people.
Yeah.
So there's still balance there that makes me question why I asked the question. Anyway.
Okay, so what is your answer?
I don't know.
I
asked the question.
I'm putting you on the spot. Fucking answer, because you made this whole 20-minute debate.
But he asked the question because he didn't know the answer. No.
All right, cool. So find one.
You must answer.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be his little bitch just jumping around answering questions.
Okay, I think the bigger comedian right now is Dave Chappelle. I actually think Dave Chappelle is bigger right now. I think Kevin Hart is kind of quiet. I think he did that. What did he do? He did his series the other day. He put a series. I think we were on lockdown when that series came out. Might have been early stages of lockdown. I can't remember. But
okay. Do you want to know why I disagree with that?
Go on.
Kevin Hart is
Barely spoke,
probably
go on.
one of the biggest comedians. It's all right.
Didn't even
Sometimes
give you
it
a
happens
chance.
to you, innit? How about that? So anyway, Kevin Hart is one of the busiest comedians at the moment in the world. Even when you go to interviews, so everyone confirms this, right? That he's one of the busiest. He's always online on content, Instagram, etc., etc. So everybody is constantly hearing about Kevin Hart. Dave Chappelle doesn't have that. Free choice, which is awesome, which is why in my eyes he's one of the greatest. Anyway, what?
Does that not like show you that because he doesn't need to be on Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok and all of this all the time, whenever he does something, the wave follows.
Yeah, but the thing is,
way
you could
forward.
argue that Kevin Hart doesn't need to as well. But the fact that he does it increases his bigness.
And also,
Okay,
like,
you
do know,
didn't even
I'm
give
not-
him a fucking chance to answer, Daniel.
I'm not even. But
Oh, weren't
and
you
do know
asking
what? This
me?
is
I
why.
didn't realise.
And this is why I said in the beginning, like, although Daniel didn't agree with defining bigness, this is why you have to define bigness if you want a clear answer, because you can't ask a question like that and then expect someone to go, oh, this and that and the other, because
Yo, I asked for off-the-cuff answers. I didn't ask for explanations, but Nicholas was insistent.
So you're gonna put this on me like this is my fucking fault?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, guys.
Nicholas Justin said.
I'm gonna say Tom Hanks is big. Tom Hanks. Let's move on. I'm tired of this shit. Yeah, no. We're talking about things that nobody cares about, and it's my fault. So let's end it from my side and move on.
Okay. I'm gonna go next.
Who do you think is the biggest comedian in the world, Daniel?
The biggest comedian in the world right now.
I'm just talking shit. Just fucking give us
Okay.
your top 5.
I'm gonna go for.
Oh, type right away.
I'm eating some crisps.
Yo, Jerrod Carmichael. I can't say his name. I think it's. How do you say? Jerrod Carmichael.
Jerrod? His name Jerrod?
Yeah.
Jerrod Carmichael.
Jerrod Carmichael.
it's
I don't know
Jerrod.
what you're talking about.
Is it Jerrod?
I don't know. I'm asking. I don't
All right,
know.
you talk
Yeah,
about
I
him
think
and
it-
we'll figure out who you're talking about.
So, I've seen
Seriously?
one special.
Jerrod.
Jerrod Carmichael.
Yeah.
I mean, how would he say it?
I mean, probably Jerrod, because that's the way it's spelled. But go on.
How do you spell Jerrod?
Oh, I know him.
Jerrod.
I don't know. I think.
Oh,
I think
is it
you're
Jay?
arguing
Yeah. Do you need
Yeah,
to
I knew I was
go back on your
struggling, man.
typewriter
I was
and
I don't
struggling.
understand. I don't understand. J's and G's can sometimes sound alike.
Yeah, okay. But it's
I'm
different.
on your fucking side, Daniel.
Okay,
Everyone
I know,
calls me
but like I
Dustin.
understood. Anyway,
Oh wow, you're being so
I,
romantic.
I've only seen one special of his. I've seen clips from another special. I've seen
One! And he made your top 5.
Mate, I've seen. But the thing is, though, everything he says and everything he does hits. Everything he does hits me. It's just high octane comedy, just in my veins. Like,
That's kind of how I feel with Paul Mooney. But go on.
Yeah, man. When he's like, I heard like Jamie Foxx, I think it was, speaks about how he got rich, and you can't be too. And he started telling jokes about being rich, and he got booed, and you can't get too comfortable. You need to get in your blah 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 blahs and stuff. And Jerrod Carmichael spoke about his being a different tax bracket and stuff, and just being rich now and everything changing, and basically humbled the crowd. Just kind of like an humble yourself around me sort of talk, and it's just hilarious stuff. Dave Chappelle did the similar thing as well, which is why he's my number one. Jerrod Carmichael hits me more than the greats, and that's maybe it's because he's a black man who's my age, living in the same times as me. Maybe that's why. Love him. and he's a writer for his show. He was a writer for his show, and I'm pretty sure he did some writing for some other stuff as well. Just intelligent stuff, and that's the thing as well.
Is he a stand-up?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's there's the type of comedy that makes you think and makes you laugh really impresses me. Like there's type of comedy that's just making me laugh, and I'm not really understanding why I'm so. Well, I don't know why it's funny, but you got me. You tricked me. I'm laughing. But Jerrod Carmichael, he's hilarious, but that's it. I'm impressed by the comedy writing. I'm impressed by the jokes. I'm impressed by the way he tells them, and I'm impressed by the way that he's written them, and yeah. Hilarious. I'm surprised you guys aren't really. You don't seem to know his stuff.
With him.
But you know his stuff though.
What am I supposed to do homework?
I'm not asking you to do homework. I'm asking you if you know his stuff.
I've seen some of his stuff.
Okay, alright.
But I'm not like an avid follower. Like I wasn't as interested as you were.
You gotta get to know him, man. This is a legend in the making. The thing is, I'm a little bit annoyed because he doesn't seem to care to be like putting out specials and stuff like that. Because where are they? Unless he is the kind of comedian who probably wouldn't be allowed to get a special because of his content.
Sounds like I need to check him out. You said that like I wasn't allowed. Like he's only for you.
No.
It had nothing to do with you. I was just thinking about my next.
No,
one.
your came after Daniel's hum. I was responding to Daniel's hum.
Okay,
your hum was like,
No, I got that.
I'm searching him now, maybe. But Daniel's response was just like, I don't know if I was watching my comedian.
All right, Justin, who you got?
Okay.
You worried about the backlash?
There'll be no backlash from my side.
Not really. Okay, cool. So, to be honest, now I'm kind of trying to fit them into this box of two. But anyway, I'm gonna go for Jack Black. Jack Black always makes me laugh. Like, he's infectiously funny. Like, he's just one of those people. Like, I don't know. He's literally kind of person that could just like read out a recipe and you'll be just busting up laughing. I watch a lot of his I watch his YouTube channel that he's got as well called Jablinski Games, and he's such a troll, and even away from films, like he just I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just he just really tickles me, man. Like, and he has that thing that Jim Carrey has. I'm not gonna put Jim Carrey on my list anymore, but he has that thing that Jim Carrey has, like, where that. And to be honest, Jim Carrey should go before Jack Black.
You can have Jim Carrey on your list. You can put them both in your list right now.
But
no, because I've still got one more. So, but I think the reason I'm not at the moment is just because I haven't seen much Jim Carrey comic wise recently, and I'm so much more up to date with Jack Black at the moment. But it's difficult, man. I don't know, because Jim Carrey, I base so much stuff that I do on Jim Carrey. So yeah. Anyway, Jack Black. I'm gonna go with Jack Black because I think he's just overall fucking hilarious. His concepts, his ideas are absolutely. Sometimes they're so wild, and you're like, of course, it's fucking genius. Like, he's one of those people I actually genuinely feel he's a genius. He's a genius person, but he's just pretending to be.
You don't think
either
of us are geniuses?
Do you know what? One of my favourite Jack Black... Sorry, Bob, what? You don't think any of us are... Anyway, one of my favourite Jack Black moments... Yeah. Like, I don't have many Jack Black moments because I don't really know him like that, but the interview that he was doing with... Not interview... he was on... what's his name's show? Gary man. Oh, my gosh. No, BBC... Graham Norton. It was on the Graham Norton show with The Rock and Kevin Hart.
10 points.
And they are...
Who got it first? I swear I got it before you.
Shut up, man.
What?
Kevin Hart and The Rock are just riffing off of each other and just basically owning the interview or whatever. And
Yeah, I've seen it actually.
And then I forgot his name again. What is his name?
Jack Black.
No, the host.
Graham
Norton.
Graham Horton.
Graham Norton asks.
Horton's got who?
Graham Norton.
Guess who's
Graham
coming
Norton.
to dinner?
Graham Norton asks Jet Black a question. It's like, oh, I'm allowed to speak, am I? It just completely killed everything.
But
It completely seemed like it disarmed The Rock and Kevin Hart. Like, oh yeah, we were on the whole time and just took it. It was hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, I know how he feels.
Yeah, man. He's fucking... Well, yeah, he's a genius. He's a genius, man.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. Okay. Bob, this is your last pick. Your last pick. So far, you have Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac.
Why you didn't let me speak about Jack Black as well?
Oh, you got stuff to see? I mean, it's your turn to talk, so why not?
No.
Talk about it, man. Don't do that. Just talk.
No. Because I'm just sitting here in my Jack Black corner.
I don't hop in these things.
Shut the fuck up.
Introducing new things when people are talking.
I'm tired of your shit.
I don't talk over people.
He's trying to get around it.
Go on. What are you saying?
Gosh.
You want to say
Really
something about Jack?
No.
Oh, bruv, stop, man. Why are you playing a victim? Just talk, man.
Maybe I'm a victim. I was
Just
making
talk.
a whole joke about me being a victim, and Daniel just stepped in and fucked it. He stepped in and fucked it. So, I was gonna be Jack Black. One of you is gonna be The Rock. One of you is gonna be Kevin Hart. But Daniel decided we're gonna stop talking about this.
Bob, who's your number 5 pick? You got Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac, Eddie Murphy, and George Carlin on your list. Plethora of comedians sitting on the bench.
Who have I got?
Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac, Eddie Murphy, George Carlin.
Okay. Before I go anywhere, I'd like to give a special shout out to Jack Black. I really am appreciative of Tenacious D. The music they came out with was wild and very powerful and very
Best
funny.
song in the world. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, and it was like they didn't take themselves too seriously, and they inspired me to want to make music.
Jack Black can hold a note, boy.
He can. He's a very talented man, and he's up there, but he's not in my top 5. My last one is a hard one.
You ponder.
Does anyone else want to go?
Okay, all right, go on. I'm ready to go.
You're ready?
I'm ready to go.
Your last one?
Yeah, I got my last one.
Go.
Okay. And it was a tough one. Oh man. Bill Burr.
He was there. He was there. And he's
Bill
one
Burr
of...
is my... Yeah,
Oh man, Bill Burr.
special mention.
Bill Burr talks about being cancelled before being cancelled was a thing. I think,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Yeah.
you can see them like they say something racist, and then you see the podium being pulled out, and
Tell the fucking joke and stop laughing.
oh, I'm
dickhead.
sorry, man. And you can hear them apologize. I just want to say I'm sorry to everybody who I offended. And he speaks about being on the train, and there's a black guy who got his arms stuck in the door. It was like, "You crackers, you crackers, mother!" and somebody animated it, and they animated a bunch of white guys sitting on the train, and their heads are crackers, and it's like, is he talking about me? He's like, I don't know. Like, why is there no brotherhood in the white community? Like, they're calling him a cracker, I was cracker. I'm not a cracker. Bill Burr cracks me up. Literally another one of those comedians who I listen to. I'm able to not even have to watch him. I'm listening to him on the train, and I'm like, people can't see these tears because they won't understand. Someone's going to ask me what's wrong, and I'm just going to laugh out loud. Bill Burr. I actually follow his podcast as well. He's just funny. Just, premium content, man. Okay, I've come off my Bill Burr train. Bob, you ready, or should we go to? Were you ready, Justin and Bob, or should we go to Justin?
Is Justin ready? If Justin's ready, he can
I'm
go.
ready.
'Cause
I'm thinking about Bill Burr still. Like, I literally, because I sent you guys Bill Burr video the other day.
Oh, I haven't. I've seen it before, but I'm like, Justin said, I gotta watch it again now.
I literally, because I was doing my research,
You really-
and I sat there, and I watched literally the first like half an hour of it. I've seen it before, and I was like, man, this guy is just. It's too much. Like, am I supposed to even find this shit funny? Like, it's just like, it's so kind of like, then I'm thinking about, I think people like Bill Burr make me think too much, innit? Like, I'm thinking, although I get Bill Burr and I get his comedy, it's kind of something that he said, actually. It's about then certain people will then like be allegiance with him, go, yeah, man, Bill, like, I love what you said about them. Then people freaking whatever. Yeah. And he'd be like, no, I don't think that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I can imagine have bare conversations.
When he played,
like,
played his racist aunt or mum or grandma or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he said, nigger. and he's like, I didn't say nigger. My grandma said.
But you know what? It's so. Again, I'm a very massive fan of observational comedy. So people like him, they always, for me, just they smash it. I just wonder if certain people of his audience just take him the wrong way. They don't understand what he's really saying, and they only kind of jump into the taglines. Like, okay, for example, he did a show at the Royal Festival Hall. My friend was telling me, because I sent it to him as well, and he said to me, you know what's so funny? He must have started a joke like, do you know what's funny about rape? Yeah, or something like that.
Was that him?
Yeah, and apparently all these women walked out. Now, the thing is, for me, it's like, you're on a comedy show. This person is here to make you laugh. You know that essentially their content is not necessarily what they believe. It's about observations. But then you have the idea that people can be really offended by certain things in comedy as well. And you're like, well, let him finish the joke.
Yeah, I think that's,
it's like nowadays we're not allowed to
finish the
it's
joke.
Like it's a bit of an outrage culture, isn't it? It's an outrage
we're not allowed
culture.
to finish the joke.
Everyone's getting offended. Everyone gets offended. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe you said that about me. I feel such a victim. Anyway, but like, you know what I'm saying? So like, people do all that kind of shit. So it's like, no, like, just enjoy the experience of what they're trying to say, what they're trying to give you reflections of people's society.
Give it a chance. Wait for the punchline. The joke's not done.
Yeah, like,
and
if
then
the
be offended.
Is shit,
like,
then be like, yo, he does it. He's not funny. But if sometimes the worst shit is fucking funny, and we shouldn't be laughing.
A joke at a
but
funeral.
That's why it's funny.
Joke at the funeral.
I understand it from both sides, in the sense of, like, you should sit down and listen to the whole joke and get why he started with that, because in the grand scheme, you could now be the new punchline because of all the women that walked out when he said that. But they didn't know what he was going to say, so they don't know. Yeah. But at the same time, sometimes it's too close to home for certain people.
And I get that. And I do get that. But then don't come to a comedy show where somebody has a reputation.
To be fair, though. To be fair, they left. to be fair, they left.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And the worst thing about that is they didn't, I don't know, did they go to get refunds or did they realize that they had already paid?
Well, I mean, we can't really judge anything after that, can we? Like, they left, we can judge that. They left,
yeah, that's their reaction. Yeah.
Let them leave. If they started protesting.
At the same time, my issue is you've left and you paid for a comedy show or whatever, or maybe you came with somebody else who enjoys that kind of comedy. You've now paid, what, 40 to 80 pounds for a show that you're not going to see. So that's why I'm saying, did they go and get their refunds, or were they just so outraged they went home?
Who knows, man?
Don't know.
Wow.
Why you look like you were looking for an answer? I don't know what's going on right now.
I don't actually know. I don't know.
Justin.
I can't talk.
The thing is, I was trying to open a dialogue, but obviously we've had enough of talking.
Oh shit.
No, but you're asking us to give an opinion about women that we don't know and why they might have left.
We have opinions on so many things that don't relate to us.
Yeah.
When I ask a question, why do I always get pushed to the side? I'm fucking tired of this shit.
I don't know, man. Something about you, Justin. Have you got a fifth pick?
Oh gosh, yes, I'm gonna go for it. All right, okay. So again, my list is being reshuffled and stuff, but anyway, I'm going to appease the general population apparently of what this top 5 is, and I'm gonna go for Robin Williams, one of my favorites of all time.
Interesting.
Like, again, I've got a massive love of improv, and improvised comedy is something that not every comedian can do. It's probably one of the toughest parts of comedy too. So to have somebody that basically ticks the boxes in all areas, be it a comedy actor, be it a stand-up, be it sketch shows, be it friggin' improv, whatever, writing, like, he's absolutely, like, legendary, man.
Do you know what? My appreciation of Robin Williams isn't really for his comedy. Although I can appreciate his comedy.
Side. And that's the mad thing. Even serious, you're talking about serious films that he does and stuff as well.
Yeah, like I think the fact that he does comedy makes the drama all the more impressive. But I don't really love him for his comedy. I can appreciate his comedy. The impressions and stuff like that are really impressive.
He reminds me of like a kind of almost like almost kind of like like a Charlie Chaplin, essentially, you know, like an old school type of comedy, that somebody who like uses their body all the time, is always in a situation and whatever, and it's like to bring something like that into where, for example, Charlie Chaplin is so relevant as well in so much that is comedy that we see today, right? So to see someone like Robin Williams who almost embodies that age as well, it's quite, I think he's dope. Yeah, he's dope.
Go on.
Before I say what I said, did you see my hand up at all during that whole time, Justin?
Yeah, but we're not in school. I didn't understand why your hand was up. When does anyone put their hand up? We always talk over each other anyway.
I was going to make a point that was relevant to what you said, which was the fact that he was actually a mime. That's why I put up my hand to interject without interrupting, because you...
Go on. Like, go on then.
Miming.
What's going on? Wait, what's going on? You put your hand up and now you're talking. Like, go on.
I don't understand. Like, he was a mime.
You just created your own rule, you know. We've had like almost 2 hours.
No, but it's fine. No, but you put your hand up and then you're given the room to speak.
To talk, and I was just asking the question.
But you were given the room to speak.
Because it was relevant to what he was actually saying at that point.
I know, it's finished now.
It's like he was Charlie Chaplin, because Charlie Chaplin didn't have words in the majority of his films. Some of them he did towards the end of his career. But I put up my hand to say he actually was a mime before he started.
That makes sense.
All of that stuff, and it would have made more sense for me to say that closer to when you said it.
It makes just as much sense. It's cool. No, it's fine. You said it. We hear it. It's fine. It's so.
Why are you getting frustrated, Daniel?
I'm not frustrated.
Yeah, Daniel. Can you lower your decibels, please? Jeez.
Oh my days. What's going on? But Justin, you done? Because I got nothing else to say about Robin Williams. Love him to death. Love him to death.
Oh, okay.
I mean, does love him to death mean that it's over now that he's dead?
Yeah, that's kind of how it sounded.
I don't think we should carry on with that line of conversation.
Love him to and through death.
To infinity and beyond. Shut up.
Cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Bob, have you been given...
You get offended for everyone. You stop.
Have you had enough time? Have you had enough time to figure out your fifth?
Ian Wright.
Funny guy.
Yeah, he's funny. Yeah, he's the last one on my list.
You serious?
He's done stand up though.
Are you serious?
No.
Okay. Don't know what to say. Don't know sometimes, man.
My last one. Oh man, I'm just here. my last one was Richard Pryor.
Somebody had to say it.
Richard Pryor. He opened the door after the window was opened for him, and he made so many films that I have seen growing up, like his specials. He's influenced a bunch of people, and like he had a message. He had a message, and it was fuck you. I don't care what you think. It was a case of like, I think he was one of the first comedians to use the N-word and put it on tape or whatever.
That's when I knew.
The doors were wide open. No, it was a case of like, I don't know, you got a lot of stick for it, but it was a case of, you say it, so when I say it, I'm saying it in a different way, and it was like his way of saying it was different to the way that rappers were saying it when they first came out with it, like NWA. Like they had a different kind of message. His was like, I'm just gonna poke fun at it, but I'm gonna draw attention to the issues.
Do you know, watching Richard Pryor and then seeing the other comedians or seeing the things that they do that are of Richard Pryor, so it's like he
Richard Pryor-esque.
Yeah, he was a library, and all these other comedians just like books, and these are very good books.
Yeah,
but Richard Pryor,
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's funny when I watch back Richard Pryor, I just remember thinking to myself, well, he reminds me of Eddie Murphy. Do you know what I mean? Like his whole thing, like, what? This is Eddie. Like, who is this guy?
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
It really is. That would be your connection. Oh, he's just like Eddie Murphy. It's just like, oh yeah.
Because I saw Eddie Murphy first, innit?
Yeah, no, yeah, I understand that. It's just like, oh yeah, you act so much like your son. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, it is weird. Like, it was only when I got a bit older, really, that I really understood and appreciate Richard Pryor. And then you kind of, but then again, you go into the delves of his life as well. And then you're a little bit like, wow, boy, damn, that's messed up. And there's part of me that kind of thinks, damn, he was
troubled.
He was like, well, yeah. I mean, he was more than troubled. He was freaking like, some might say like it would literally like smear their opinion of him as well. But again, when you're so great, those smears don't become apparent, or shouldn't at least.
But what I think needs to be acknowledged as well is, when it comes to comedy, a lot of people have had their own trauma or they're dealing with depression, and the best way for them to deal with it is through laughter.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Like same with Robin Williams. Like, his life was ended shorter than we expected. And a bunch of other comedians that you think, oh, why would you be so sad when you make everybody else so happy?
Yeah.
So
Robin Williams one hurt me, man.
Yeah, I think for us, we very much grew up with him. Like, same like Jim Carrey and Eddie Murphy and all of that kind of stuff. Like they made family movies that we would sit down and watch with our parents.
Films we were allowed to watch.
Yeah, basically. Like, Eddie Murphy made some movies that was just a little bit like, oh, Boomerang, let me watch this. No, not the goddamn toes. Like, I feel like that movie made me probably hate my feet a little bit.
You know, it's funny because Boomerang, as a younger person, was like lower down in the pecking order for me. Like, I didn't really care for it, but now it's like the best one of the best ones.
Yeah, because definitely. it had life lessons, but we didn't know because we weren't trying to do those kind of things.
I mean, life lessons aside, because I don't think it was really my deal at the time, or even now. It's just my taste matured a bit, and you can see there's a few like nuances. Those they're a lot louder when you're older than when you're a child. Someone falls over when you're a kid, and it's like that's the joke.
Mr. Witherspoon. What's his first name?
John Witherspoon.
He is a legend. He is a legend. I don't know. I've never seen him do stand up or anything like that. But he is
I think a boomerang. Sorry, I was trying to figure out if we were doing special mentions or.
What are you talking about? Don't be pussy wet.
Public enema.
Oh, when they came out of the toilet after banging. Oh, beauty.
Wow. What?
Oh my gosh! And she's
I think we took away different messages.
Oh
from
man, I don't know, man. Just a pure comedy. I don't care. When the wife, his wife comes out, and she's like, she's
grandma. She has
she's sucking her
inside out, and her shoulder pads are coming out.
When she comes out, looking at her teeth. What were you doing?
She's taking hairs out of her teeth, Dan.
Oh my days! Oh.
I don't know. You guys just made you guys have ruined my childhood. I didn't even.
Do you not remember that bit?
I do remember it, but I didn't think of it like that. And
man.
I hadn't.
That's
watched
what
it
was happening.
since.
Do you know, Boomerang has the best of so many things. I'm just remembering like Boomerang has the best of Halle Berry. Boomerang has the best of Halle Berry.
Oh, was it?
I think it has the best of Eddie Murphy. I mean, maybe.
And Grace Jones, yeah.
Grace Jones.
Sanjay, sorry. Yeah. Go on.
John has the best of John Witherspoon, possibly. Yeah.
I don't know. I think the best of him came out in Boondocks, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like the Boondocks had an amalgamation of John Witherspoon from everything he's done.
Okay, so the Boondocks have John Witherspoon to thank for their success in more than one way.
Maybe. It's not the show. It's not the show for it. We'll talk about it another time. Can we go to our special mentions? Can we do special mentions now?
Are we all five?
Everyone's five deep, man. We all got off the top five. Sure, run through them. Bob, Nicholas, Slick Boom has Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac, Eddie Murphy, George Carlin, and Richard Pryor. Daniel Thompson. Bunton has Dave Chappelle, Patrice O'Neill, Eddie Murphy, Jerrod Carmichael, and Bill Burr. Justin has Dave Chappelle, Paul Mooney, Eddie Murphy, Jack Black, and Robin Williams.
Justin has who?
Dave Chappelle, Paul Mooney, Eddie Murphy, Jack Black, and Robin Williams.
I heard Dave Chappelle.
Flipping heck, man. So it's Dave Chappelle.
I don't know.
Yo, I want to give a shout out to Louis C.K. Not allowed to live anymore. No one wants to see his face anymore. Too many images of.
I think he's one of my top. You couldn't make my top 5.
Oh man.
Same way because of his actions, he had to come down in the list.
I mean,
he's still up there. I still think he's hilarious.
Quality wise, like it was a tough list for me to try and put together because I got 3 people who probably should be in the list, but I didn't put them in the list today, and maybe they'll be in tomorrow. So yeah, like Louis C.K. Oh my gosh, just the jokes about killing the baby. So was it killing a baby or was it just like Asian baby or something like that? Like
that's a great introduction.
The thing is, like the fact that I can say that and you're like and not necessarily you guys, but you should be disgusted by me saying that and me saying that there's a joke about that and the fact that I laughed should be disgusting. But I rolled. Oh my gosh.
Is that about abortion and stuff?
Something I can't remember. Yeah. I don't remember. All I know is I was dying.
Okay, I think he's been cancelled enough, guys. You don't need to.
Yo, that was his whole show, man. His whole show was cancel me, please. His whole show was I dare you to cancel me.
No, but that's the kind of attitude you have to have.
It really has to be, man.
It has to be fuck it. It has to be fuck it. Like I'm telling jokes. If you can't take it, then don't come, don't listen, don't watch.
And like Nicholas was saying it about George Carlin, I think it was. Louis C.K. knew his white privilege and George Carlin knew his white privilege. Louis C.K. knew his white privilege and spoke about it in a hilarious way. He didn't make it a political thing in his it was political, but he made jokes, and that's what I love. It reminds me of gospel music where the gospel music quite often I feel fail or falls because they're more interested in the gospel and not about the music.
Yeah, 100. I get exactly what you mean.
So, Louis C.K. comedy came first. The message stayed.
one of my favorite jokes of his was about when other white people say the N word, and I was like, no, now you've made me say nigger in my head. And it's like, don't get butthurt because anytime you say the N word, you say it in your head, and it's like, holy shit, I do. But me as a black person, I don't get offended by it. But anytime you hear N word, you say nigger in your head. You read the word in your mind. It's like hangman. And his approach to that, I was just like, oh, it's a bit touch and go, but you're making sense, sir.
Any more?
Yes. I've got a couple actually.
Go on, what did you just say one, Bob?
D.L. Hughley.
Hughley. Oh man, I always say this joke, and no one knows it's a joke because the joke was so subtle. Like, don't splash that shit on me, punk. That's Wilder. That's it. That's the joke, and it kills me every time.
What was this? Hands up, don't shoot.
Like, forgive me for telling this joke that just like it's not gonna hit. 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna hit, and it was. I don't think.
Do we have any reference?
Okay, so basically, black people don't want to get in the pool at pool parties. They don't trust. Basically, they don't trust the water. Don't splash that shit on me, punk.
Start with that.
That's water. I don't care. I do not care. That's not. I don't go into.
So the punchline is water. Explain it.
The punchline is that water can't be trusted. Basically, like it's. I don't trust water.
Okay.
Don't splash that
the
shit
way
on me.
You said it. Okay, I get you. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And I think he had
I literally heard you say, "Don't splash that shit on me. It's water." So I was like, "Why is the shit now turned to water?"
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
See, that's why you need context, Bunto.
I know, but like, I didn't really care if the joke banged. That's the part of the joke that I tell.
It's not your
It
joke.
makes me laugh.
That's the part of the joke that I constantly repeat. I always say, "Don't splash that shit on me, punk." That's water. Whenever there's water splashing, I have kids, so there's constantly water splashing. Yeah, Hughley. Go on, Bob.
No, it's Justin's turn.
No, you said you haven't said nothing about Joe. Okay, fine. Go on, Justin. Go on.
No, you fucking did it, didn't you? With the splashing water shit.
I told one joke. You guys wanted me to elaborate.
No, I like him. He's funny. You fucking stole it from me again.
Oh,
it's fine.
dear. Are we all gonna need therapy after this?
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Go on, Justin.
Okay. Ryan Stiles.
Who's
one of
that?
my favorite people to watch. Ryan Stiles is you know who he is by looking at him.
Okay. I trust you.
Whose line is it anyway?
Oh, him.
Anyway, he's a really tall guy.
Oh yeah.
Every single time I watch that show, that guy cracks me the fuck up. His mind is amazing. Yeah. And then funny enough, when I see him in like films and stuff, I'm like,
yeah, that's what I was wondering because outside of
in improv, outside of that, but again, this is why it's so.
That's because he's restricted.
Yeah, probably. Right? Yeah, he needs the freedom. He needs to be a frog, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like he needs that. Like his mind is incredible.
2.5 Men he was in because he's really good friends with
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, I was just thinking,
yeah.
Tiger,
you're right.
Tiger Blood. What?
Also, I was gonna say Fresh Prince.
What?
Because Fresh Prince.
You mean Will Smith?
Well, yeah, but I kind of saw it as the character. This is one of the reasons I didn't put it in my top 5 because I had to explain it like this. And seeing as we had an issue with comedian and stand up, I thought, forget it. So Fresh Prince, yes, because that character of Fresh Prince is absolutely hilarious. Like, I mean, we could reel off his jokes right now. That humor, that comedy, just really appealed to me, and it resonated with me. I see it more as a character, right? The character of Fresh Prince. More than I see it as Will Smith in a way, because he's not the Fresh Prince everywhere else, if that makes sense. So although he has funnier things, like he doesn't make me laugh as much as if I watch Fresh Prince.
I want to say more now as well. Go ahead, keep going. Do you have more?
Right. Yeah. So I have more. Who else did I leave out of my list? Okay, cool. So this one is a bit of a like, but okay, whatever. Luella Gideon is probably one of the funniest women. Yeah.
Oh, her! I remember her. Ron McCoy.
Yeah, yeah, and
hilarious.
One day. Actually, listen, that woman, because Ron McCoy is again probably one of the first things I can remember in the UK of comedy, and I used to stay up late with my parents to watch it. And
oh God, I don't know.
And And I remember seeing.
Oh no,
this woman-
wait, Justin, pause 1 second. Daniel, were you allowed to stay up late and watch?
Yo, sit down and be quiet. That's what you do.
No, I'm asking.
That's what you do. You sit down and you be quiet.
Oh, and you
Yeah,
hope
yeah, and then you hope they
you're still
notice,
awake.
And now that
100%.
I'm a parent, you full
Bro.
of know. You know that they're there. They knew I was waiting there, but in my head,
But they're being quiet and they're not annoying you. So it's all right.
You
cool,
know you're not supposed to be.
but I
here.
get the impression.
So-
I just knowing my parents, they wanted me to see the real McCoy. And you know what? It's funny.
Exactly.
The funny thing is with the real McCoy, the jokes that I laughed at as a kid are not the jokes I'm laughing at now. But the fact that it hit me as a kid and hit me as a teen, hit me as an adult, a young adult, and hit me as whatever I am now,
Bro,
when I was a kid, you know what used to kill me when I was a kid?
go on, Daniel.
I named this Kunta Kinte. That killed me as a kid, and now I'm an adult. It's different.
Do you know what used to kill me? Yeah. Like, because they used to do really short, small sketches as well, yeah. And then I think it was Robbie G. I think it was, and he was like, and then Llewellyn was like, "Oh, come on, man, gosh." And then the uncle, the granddad, was like, "Can't you stop that dog from whining?" And then there was a guy going,
Yeah.
It's like he's dressed up as a dog, just
Yeah.
whining. And it just, as a kid, that got me. I was like, "Oh my days, he's whining," and he says, "Oh my god!" But
Were you
as I said,
sorry,
like,
Bob? Were you allowed to watch it?
Really?
Oh my
That's not
gosh!
funny,
I'm so
man.
sorry, man.
That's not funny. That's not funny. And look, imagine he's become so funny without it. That's incredible. Like I feel like anybody who's funny in UK surely had like watched the real McCoy.
The
grew up
thing is,
watching it.
I watched it as I grew up, but it was like my house was very strict. Like my dad would literally kick me into bed.
Put that on, I'll slap you.
Do you know what? It's funny. My house was
Daniel!
Was that his dad? He did it again. Oh, Daniel, you are getting better. Do you practice?
No, he's been there for a lot of the times when I was being disciplined because my dad didn't give a fuck about my friends. He would just be like, yeah, it's going down. It's going down.
Are you 12? Your dad's got some lines, bro, for days. Are you 12?
I don't understand why this has become. What? I don't understand.
You have a funny family, man. Shit.
What do you mean? You're talking about my dad just traumatized.
All right, no, let's get back. Let's get back. And he's got.
Okay, I'm sorry, man.
Hey, Bob.
It's too late. Now I have to go and punch my dad in the face to make myself feel
Bob,
better.
special mentions. And he's...
Hey, I haven't finished mine.
Okay, Justin, okay, because I didn't.
No.
My number one
It can't
funny
be,
man
but-
was
No,
my
Justin,
dad.
we'll come back
My
to
dad,
you.
because he made me laugh until I cried, and then the laughter came from him punching me when I was supposed to be watching fucking Real McCoy and all this shit, and then Daniel would come along and be like, "Oh, please, don't talk that. Don't talk." Just and as soon as he says something, Daniel's got something. He wrote it down. He wrote it down. His little typewriter. And he saved it for years and years.
I said one day I'm gonna bring Nick into a podcast and then they're gonna let it out. That's not funny. Gosh, that's the worst.
Alright, cool.
Anyway, so
also-
I haven't finished my list.
Also, my grandpa, because he doesn't really like.
Justin, I never got to finish my list either. I just figured move to the.
No. This is. But the thing is, you guys fucked up my list.
Also, Buddha. Just because.
Oh, man.
Zen. I want some Zen.
So,
yes, I
Do
was
you know,
burning
okay,
incense.
so one guy that actually almost made my list but didn't, right? But he almost made it. It was very close.
Ah, shit! I dropped my Buddha.
Was okay, actually, sorry, can we go back to Llewellyn Gideon in a minute? I saw her in a one woman show as well, and she was, bruv, like this was like later on, and she was so funny, man. She was so incredible. She still had the nuances, and like when you talk to her, she's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, thank you, gotta be." I'm like, "Oh my god, like you literally my childhood." Misery Restaurant, why you want? Oh my gosh, like
You know, so funny.
Anyway.
Even as a child, I thought she was
So-
beautiful.
yeah. Oh my, so did I. And the thing is,
Did you just Cristiano Ronaldo? So did I.
so did I. There was something about her eyes, innit?
I have no idea what
Right,
it was, but I just thought she was a beautiful woman.
Yeah. Daniel, man. Anyway, so the person who would have got on my list is Milton Jones. He is probably
Bloody hell, you know some
One
people,
of my
man. Who's Milton
favourite.
Jones?
Milton Jones is probably one of my favourite.
It's someone he saw
One-
on Google.
I've actually seen him in real life as well. Actually, I went to his show in Edinburgh. But anyway, Milton Jones is one of my favourite one-liner comedians ever. He
Is that
has,
the white one with the scruffy hair.
yeah, and he wears Hawaiian shirts all the time, right?
Yeah, I was just joking. Don't get fucked up.
It's cool, man.
Did you just
Anyway.
leak something from your nose?
No, I thought it did, but it didn't. I was like, oh shit, there's a camera.
Go on.
One of my favourite jokes of his is my dad's from Cork and my mum's Asian, so some people might call me Caucasian. And you know, stuff like that just tickles. But he won't stop there. He'll just keep reeling them off. He'll just keep reeling them off.
He's a pun specialist. If I remembered his name, he might have been there because he's so awkward and so hilarious.
And he doesn't laugh. He just literally just stands there and reels off his one-liners.
I feel like he doesn't even think he's funny, but people have told him, so he just keeps continuing. And he just goes off with the vibrations. and
that's what's funny, because then you're caught thinking about the last joke and you're like, oh shit, that's funny, and he's already in the middle of another one and you're like, are you serious? And he's just like reeling it off and he's just standing there going, yeah, well, probably won't think it's funny, but and you think he's just talking normally. It's another one. He's done it again. The guy, he's too much. He's absolutely too much. It's just like he's normally on like a lot of panel shows and stuff, like you might have seen, but
Mock the Week.
Mock the Week, that was it. Yeah. Hard to tell if people are interested in joining my sarcastic club or not.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I just realised.
That was a slow burner.
But imagine experiencing that like over 10, 20 minutes, like just consistently. Oh my gosh, like what's going on? Okay, cool. Dear.
Can I throw in Jonathan Ross? He's one of my favorite hosts ever. Like, I do appreciate Graham Norton.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Ross, he is a nerd like I am. I relate to him so much.
No, I'll put Graham Norton over Jonathan Ross, you know.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I do.
No, as a host.
As a funny person. As a funny person.
As a
As a
comedian.
funny person.
Mm-hmm.
Say it, Daniel.
Okay.
As a comedian.
Hey.
I don't know. See, this is another microaggression against me. I don't understand.
Go on.
It was so unnecessary.
Go on, Bob.
But,
I lived in a flat with 3 girls.
They are hosts. Okay.
Until they found out.
So you weren't one of them.
This is
You've been
great.
tucking it in all this time, like Ace Ventura. Fucking Jim Carrey has to be an honourable mention. He's
Yeah,
made some wild
100%.
shit.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Oh, but Keenan Ivory Wayans, he put on so many people, and nobody knows his name, but his bank knows all of theirs. Because like when I first, like, I don't know how many times I watched Eddie Murphy specials before I actually started watching the credits, and I saw his name, and it's like, what the fuck does that mean?
What the fuck is a Keenan Ivory Wayans?
And I looked it up and I was like, so he wrote some of the jokes as well. And then, like, the movies that the Wayans family as a fucking whole, but Keenan Ivory has to have his own one.
You know, it bothered me, you know, because seeing, I kind of I get really hip hop about it. It's like somebody helped you write your shit. I mean, it ain't real.
Yeah,
Nah, it's
it's
different.
It's the whole ghostwriting thing. It's the case of someone can't deliver it as good as you could deliver it. Like, people write songs for Beyonce and Rihanna and Celine Dion and all of that. Like, Prince wrote a bunch of bangers that we don't even know are affiliated to him.
Yes.
I mean, it's like
Stevie too.
It's like.
But that's the thing.
Friends.
But no, but you appreciate.
A lot of the funniest people.
But yeah, you appreciate the writer.
I knew it was gonna happen.
You appreciate the writer.
In a friend circle aren't necessarily the best at performing if they get on stage.
Carry on, Justin. I don't know if Daniel's being a dickhead because he did this to me.
Yeah, yes, he is.
No, I was actually trying to make a point. I didn't realize. It's not even a tight shirt, man. Shut up, man.
This is extra small. I like the way it feels around my hips. Woohoo!
Dickhead, come on, man. You're built like a Benz. Everything just tight on you. Shut up, man.
What kind of Mercedes is that? The alligator. It's the alligator C3P.
Stop looking at my
Go on,
eyes.
Justin. Go, Justin, carry on.
Jerrod, is that Amira walking next to her new... Oh. No.
Oh.
Hey, Justin.
Tight ass motherfucker.
That
It's like
was
people
very
in friend circles, isn't it? Like, you know, you have funny person in your friend circle, but if you ask them to get on stage to be funny, they just wouldn't be able to do it. You know, so like, that was my point. Thank you.
Nicholas, any more? Because I really want to say the rest of mine because you guys ain't saying it, man. Okay, Dion Cole. I got Dion Cole. He's the guy that gets the notepad out.
Oh, Dion Cole.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He gets the notepad out. Yeah, I got these jokes. I want to see if they work. Killed me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hilarious. Michael Shea Matters, that comedy show, and he does Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, he does that as well.
I was gonna say him.
Flipping hilarious, and the fact that his joke is doing rounds right now. Like I watched that stand up like pretty much when it came out on Netflix, and now it's doing rounds because it's relevant now, and I'm just glad that everyone's getting to see it. I'm not even feeling like you could feel like, no, I knew this guy years ago, but you guys are just late. I'm just glad.
One of the things
I'm glad everyone's enjoying him, man.
That's one of the things that used to jar me. It was like, oh, you remember when I told you about that tune? You didn't release it. Shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
You remember when I told you I put you on?
So yeah, Michael Shea, I really like. He was on the list, and I had a hard time. Yeah, I was having a hard time. So Louis C.K., Dion Cole, Michael Shea were like the ones that I wasn't sure if I was going to put them on. Well, they were battling it out with the other three. Michael McIntyre.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh.
He was a possibility as well.
He
has hair.
Not for you. Like, so I watched the show.
I've tried as well. I've tried.
I watched the show, and part of me feels like his joke shouldn't be working on me.
But then you find yourself giggling.
And then the giggle turns into these screams. And you're just like, stop trying to hold it in, man. There's nobody here. Like, just let it out. He's just, oh man. And talking about like naming babies Adolf or little baby Adolf. I'm sorry. Yeah, he makes me laugh. And the last one, I think is my favorite British comic, Sean Locke.
Oh
yeah,
the driest.
Oh my gosh!
He is the Jacob's cream cracker of comedy for me. Like
Sean Locke's dope.
You enjoy him, but it's just like it's too dry. It's too dry. I'm gonna get more, but it's too dry. It's too dry. He's so.
Can I point out that I'm bothered with myself that I don't have any black British comedians on my potential top 5?
I was gonna say that actually.
It's because they don't get pushed as much.
I'm not blaming the comedians themselves.
My favorite.
All of the comedian for me.
All of the comedian gets put up there alongside Sean Locke because he is hilarious and
again,
he is
observational comedy, man.
Oh man,
I love people who can really see good situations and just go, yeah. To be honest, one of my favorite UK comedians is Slim. Always. Slim can walk in and just talk about anything.
Did he do Corny Act?
I love.
I think he did one time.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I think so. But like Slim.
Corny Act is a show that the three of us did. It was an amazing improv show. And you should check it out on YouTube. Look who can Tabray.
Go on, Justin.
Slim is the kind of person, bruv, that he'll be like, what? Fuck it, I'll tell you a story. And he's got a story for everything. You know what I'm saying? From being a bus driver to cussing out his kids to like just like all sorts of stuff. And like he's such a good. He's literally the definition of you've got that funny fucker in your friend circle, yeah. But he performs all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I could literally sit there and listen to him for just like hours, just listening.
Just
to him
thinking about Slim. and Robbie G and Eddie Nestor and all of these black British comics. Oh, Curtis Walker.
Travis James.
Curtis Walker.
Like everybody.
Curtis Walker used to, and I'm pretty sure if I watch the stuff now, cuts me up, man. He had this joke.
Foreman.
He had Young Foreman. He had this joke about living in a 3-level house, and if his dad called him and he was at the top floor, if he didn't get to him in a second, it's all over for him. He'd be like, Curtis?
Yeah. Oh,
you're lucky.
Do you know that he was a friend of mine's dad in college, random?
Oh, brilliant. I'd love to have been.
Yeah,
I would have been at his house. I'd have been trying to get my way into Curtis Walker's life.
He was one
from
of my
Ends.
big comedy heroes.
Yeah.
He was one of my big comedy heroes.
But even these conversations just makes me feel sorry for that generation of black British comedians, because there's so many of them. And somebody like Slim, who's been doing it from then and continues to do it now, and still, like, what does he have to do? What does he have to do to get that?
To have his own fucking show. Well, this is the thing.
Just
it's like
something,
Stephen
man.
Amos said.
But even when they get so, but when they get the show though, when they get the show, it's like what happens to that show? Like, I know the show that they do isn't what they want, because it's a bunch of nonsense, man. It's always rubbish.
Yeah. It's mad.
Current TV.
It's mad. It's mad. It's like Stephen Amos said, like he came on Good Morning Britain or something, and he says, I don't know what he was doing. He was touring his show, and he was like, "What do I have to do? I've got to wait till Lenny Henry to die before I can have a show." And it really resonated with me. I was like, "Oh shit!"
I'm just wondering.
Right.
I'm wondering if there's something else, because you say a show, and is it really a show that they need? Because
But then Mo Comedian's got his show at prime time as well on Channel 4, etc.
He's got a show. Is it? But like, I'm just wondering, like.
But I know what you mean. Like,
Does it have to be a show? Is there something else?
He's got his own production company, so he has more say in what he's gonna do.
Yeah, but he has a show prime time. Like, all right, if we think about
No, but I'm thinking to myself, why aren't these people? Forget about a show. Why aren't these people on 10 8 out of 10 Cats and all that? Like, why aren't they in all of the panel shows that all of these other comedians are populating and reappearing constantly? Where are all of these guys? Because they're hilarious
100%,
and relatable.
100%.
Anyway,
100%. And I
let me step that off my pulpit now, man.
I feel like it
feels like more of a business thing rather than like rotation thing. In terms of, if I put this person on the show, these people are gonna come back because they know this person's on the show.
What do you mean?
So if I put Mo on 8 out of 10 Cats, all of Mo's fans are gonna watch that episode. If I put someone from back in the day, like say Richard Blackwood, Richard Blackwood should be on the list as well, because he was our British Will Smith.
Of course,
our
fresh Prince of Streatham.
Yeah.
I always forget how funny Richard Blackwood is. There's something. There's something.
Bro, fucking jokes.
Anyway, what are you saying, Bob? Go on.
Yeah, but if you was to bring him, you're not going to get as big a market as the regulars that people have.
Do you know what?
Bigger fan bases.
Sorry to cut you, Nick. Yeah, I was going to say, I think that is so much more of a nowadays thinking. This is something that's been going on for ages and forever. Do you know what I'm saying? There's been a poor representation.
I agree
of
with you.
Comics in the UK on panel shows.
I fully agree with you. I'm saying in terms of, like, I'm not speaking from an audience point of view. I'm talking about a producer point of view. If I bring this person back, that their following is gonna come all the way with them. So if I bring 6 people that have large followings, then I have all of their followings with me. Like, it's not taking into account that the people that they could bring back from the past in terms of like Real McCoy and stuff like that, they don't realize how big of an audience they could bring back. But
I don't think it's that. I genuinely feel similar to how Daniel said, you know, my top 5 comedians are 5 black men because they resonate with me. Whatever they're putting out doesn't resonate with them. Do you see what I mean? Because comedy is something where it is very personal. It's very like, if you can I'm coming on stage to tell you about situations that I can relate to, or
I hear what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I feel like what you're saying right now is very true, but it's not pertinent to what I just said.
Okay.
Because I said the following that comes with the person is not the same. It's not about the systemic system.
But he's saying.
But why? Okay, why would you? Okay, go on. Well, I was gonna say, why would you resort to following though when we're just talking about funny people who are on panel shows? Because guaranteed, like, there are people who are UK comics who have bigger followings than some of those people on the panel shows, right? But they're still not getting the chance.
It's not always, and it's not always about being a comic. Sometimes it's just because you have a following. Joey Essex is not a comic, but people find him entertaining.
It's a cop-out. That argument, a producer might make the argument, and it's a cop-out because the comedians that they may have to pull out of the rubble has a following, and if they don't have a following, are hilarious because you know they're hilarious. Forget about whether you know about their following or not. If you know that they're hilarious, they'll make your show. These people are hilarious, and they will make your show, and it'll just go on from there. Like, it's a cop out to say that whatever you're saying. If a producer has that as their excuse as to why they're not putting these black comics on, because why is it so consistently not these black comics?
100%.
It's too consistent for that to be the argument.
And do you know what? You find that the ones who do go, who are on those panel shows, right? I'll grant it. They are essentially people where the buzz about them is too huge, so they're like, yeah, we need them, all right? And also they're funny, you know. London, the buzz about her was too huge, and she's funny. She's on the panel shows. Do you know what I'm saying? Similar with, well, I haven't even seen Mo really. Oh, I've seen her on the panel show before, actually. Yeah, similar with Mo, right? But it feels like that rule is not the same for other UK comics who are middle-aged white men. It's as simple as that. The rule is not the same. It's not the same. We grew up with the Real McCoy, one of the only, even to this day, yeah, one of the only, to this day, an acceptable, yeah, funny black
don't forget Goodness
sketch
Gracious
show.
Me.
Again,
a lot of
Goodness Gracious Me yes, of course,
came from the Real McCoy.
Of course. Like these, and again, quality comic sketch shows, right? And they were political as well.
Oh, and
that whole sorry, and I was gonna say, go on. Sorry, cool.
Sorry, man.
Sorry, it's fine. It's cool. It's just making me, because I'm kind of getting pissed off, actually, if I'm honest, because I feel like I feel like I want to bring it up somewhere. I don't know where, but like in this moment as well, where people are doing this whole kind of like, oh shit, like we need to give opportunities for black people and whatever, and etc. Yeah. Comedy is one of the places that is failing miserably, and it's so sad. You know, we had the Richard Blackwood show. To be fair, we haven't had anybody like Richard Blackwood's category since Mo the Comedian. That's almost a whole generation missed out. We haven't had a Real McCoy since then.
Sure. We ain't had a blouse and
and
skirt.
even then,
Remember blouse and skirt?
And even, yeah, Dave Baptiste, yeah, fair. He has Sunny D, yes.
No, I was saying, do you remember blouse and skirt, the show?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was attached, isn't it? Like, but like, and maybe I am missing out a couple. That's fair enough. But they're just not frequent enough. They're not representative of a multicultural London, blah blah blah, at all. It's like they don't trust them. I don't know what it is. It's quite annoying, to be honest.
Okay, so like we've headed into a totally different conversation with. Like,
yeah, but it makes sense. We've done comedy. You know, do you know what I'm saying? Like it's. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
It's adjacent.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just a case of, I feel like this is a whole conversation that needs to be had separately rather than just off the back end of comedy.
All right, cool. All right, do you know what we'll say then? We'll wrap the show up today. It was a good talk. Thanks to everybody who's listening, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Peace. Yo, do you guys acknowledge this is a podcast, so waving doesn't really mean anything? We could just take.
You say peace.
We'll say my.
You say peace.
Sorry.
It doesn't
Bye.
Bye, guys.
People, how you doing? Yes, thank you so much for watching and enjoying our madness, it seems. And if you enjoy it even more and want to see even more of it, then subscribe. What does that mean? Under Latin, yes, scribe means right. Under right, yes, that means you accept our nonsense. I'm on a swing.